Hello there. How's it going, guys? I did forget Kato. I'm sorry. I also just got the tweet out. Do me the favor, go give that some love. Getting started here. Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure I get it for Monday, Kato. All right. Like I said, I got the tweet out. Do me the favor, go get it some love. Let me grab today's sauce. We're gonna have a lot to talk about, clearly. Okay. Hello, everybody. You guys know the drill by now. Now, I do want to say something here first and foremost. Obviously, everybody is feeling a little opinionated tonight. We're going to talk about all of that. And I want you guys to understand that there are multiple ways of looking at all of this. And I think it's important to at least keep an open mind for right now and to not jump down each other's throats, because I've seen already a lot of bickering, a lot of vitriol, and I really want to tell you guys it's going to be okay no matter what. Okay, I understand this is a topic that we're all passionate about. We're all like basically really invested in this game in one way, shape, or form. So yeah, it's fine. And please understand, we're going to talk about a lot of that today. We're going to be talking about all the any changes, and I'm obviously going to give you guys my own 2 cents on this and my own perspective as a longtime player of the game and somebody that has been both a whale and been a free to play at times. So you guys are going to get both sides of that coin. I'm going to talk to you guys about how I feel like they did this Annie and basically all the announcements in general. So it's not the end of the world. I do agree with that. Motivation sap though, it's okay. Like I said, perhaps I will have some kind words for each of you so that you guys can maybe go into this even with a new mindset. So I'll talk with you guys about this because I think this is a galvanizing moment for the community, and I'm gonna have a lot to say about it. But I just wanted to say that before we actually got in here. Oh God, the lag. There we go. Sorry about that. And here we go. Laurendrell, thank you for the bits. Appreciate it. And uh oh, hold on. Hold on. A lot of you guys just resubbed out of nowhere. Let's see. So Turbo, Hera, Cartosis, Shaq, Afo, Actually Blue, and Arc. Thank you guys all for the resubs. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I love you. Okay, so let me get you guys today's sauce. Here it is. And then we get it for you guys on the JP side of things as well. So I am aware, like I said, that some of you guys are really upset. It is understandable to be upset, but I'm going to try to temper you if you don't want to hear that. I'm just going to say there's the door. I understand not agreeing with me and stuff like that, but do keep in mind that, like, I'm going to attempt to have a civil discussion about this. So if people are frothing angry and such, it's not going to go well. And that's all I can say. So everybody's got to kind of keep that open mind for right now. I do understand that everybody's going to, again, have a lot to say about this. And I'll give you guys your chance. Just give me that one quick second here. Also, why am I getting pinged? Hold on. Sorry, chat. Huh? Okay, that's weird. Anyways, I think this is getting a bit out of hand, honestly. Yeah, it's okay. Like I said, we'll talk about it. Let me real quick start out by obviously getting my AP down. That's something that I kind of need to do. Dear Lord, there's so many things to go through here at the opening. And there's a ton we got to cover. So I got to do my best for each one of you. I'm going to try to cover everything I possibly can. And you know, who knows? Maybe I even turn my face cam on here for a second, because I do feel like that'll also help you guys. Oh, actually, I didn't even realize that we also have half cost ordeal call nodes right now, which is good. I'm glad we do, because I didn't want to have to spend all my AP on the ordeal call nodes. CAD face, yes. At the very least, this Annie ended the Rin face drought, so I can be happy about that. Yep. I can certainly say that I know the Rin fans have been waiting for it for a long time, so congratulations to all of you. I'm just going to remind you, please be kind about it all. Like, I don't want to see everybody and their brother trying to suddenly claim that this is the new meta and all the other units in the game suck, and, like, you know, why would you ever use anything other than this unit? That's the same crap that I've seen for years whenever we get a big, powerful unit that comes into the game, and it always just makes me go like, because there's no negotiating with people like that. There's no way to, like, be like, listen, it's okay if people use other units. It's not the end of the world, nor is it an attack against, like, the popularity or desirability of your own favorite character. Thank you for releasing another Rin face. Just thank you. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the easiest way to look at it. Happy Annie. Hope your day is well. Thank you. Tony left Buntoria got a decent damage upgrade thanks to the CDR append. No. No, she actually didn't. I'm gonna talk about that. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm not pleased about, but you'll see. And like I said, I want you guys to understand here too. I'm not exactly pleased either, okay? So don't, like, if you guys are sitting here thinking, oh, Kaz just trying to sunshine pump and tell us that we're wrong. No. There's definitely some things, so. Are you going to do predictions on the strengthenings? So we're going to find out here. I do know that there has been a quote unquote leak. Okay, now let me find my toggle here for it. Yeah, right here. Okay, so the leak is obviously that we're going to be getting an Artoria upgrade. So and it's not much of a leak. It's basically that we pretty much like have seen images from the like trial quest and the preview of Summer Space Eresh, where Artoria has seemingly an upgrade to her first skill. We do know that there is a Saber slot coming up with the very first upgrade. We also know that Fate Stay Night is getting remastered here, so it's actually not that big of copium in all seriousness, but it is what it is. If it is her, I'll obviously be ecstatic. I had a very heated discussion with people earlier in VIP about the fact that a lot of people don't realize, well, Artoria's damage is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. She's actually now out damaged by most of the other Buster AoE 5 stars, and there are a lot of them. So at this point in time, if she gets a damage upgrade, it's actually not the most broken thing in the world. She's even out damaged by Salter at this point. So I'm okay with it. I definitely think that it's one of the ones where it's like, if you're not going to buff Arthur, then yeah, sure, go ahead and buff her. I don't know why they haven't buffed Arthur though at this point. He is like criminally untouched, and it's kind of ridiculous, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be Arthur in the end, and maybe we'll all get debated by that sort of thing. But it's definitely an interesting thing to denote. They hate my man. I think, okay, so chat, true or false? You guys can tell me whether or not I'm wrong. It's pretty clear that they're saving Arthur for something important, and we can use the example of Eresh. I think this is why you guys didn't get Eresh for years. They knew. They knew they were going to pull this out. And I think that's why. Now, whether or not it has any story relevancy, we'll see. I'm going to tell you that it's Nasu, and this is a beast unit, so it has to some degree. But I have seen a bunch of people that think like, oh, it's not. Arthur next to Henny, yes. Did I miss something? When did I become a VTuber? I've been a VTuber for an entire week already. But it's okay. I told people, it's like I don't have no problem or no qualm showing my actual face, unlike most VTubers. But that's because for years I did end up streaming basically with my face on. So it is what it is. Eresh and her half a swimsuit ascension. Yeah, I mean, welcome to how they handle our summer units now, right? Like Morgan only got one with her final ascension as well. Am I rolling? I haven't decided yet. I'm still kind of on the fence. If chat can convince me, we'll see. Cat just turned RTX off. Yeah, it's actually your eyes. I think you need glasses. You did a face reveal already? Yes! Yes, I did a face reveal for the past 6 years. It's actually funny. I have never in that point in 6 years ever really streamed without a face cam. Like even from day one, I always had it. Like there were certainly like, hey, there's a day where like, oh, my camera's not working and I did it, but never like, oh, hey, like I went an extended period of time without using my face cam. So Eresh sits on you for one of her attacks. How is that incentive? Maybe we'll see. Why roll now when you could NP 20 Summer Shufu Sniffa? Okay, that's a take. Dating Eresh makes her stronger. You said dating. I believe you got the first letter of that word wrong. because I believe it's mating. Been waiting for your take. You might be the most based FGO content creator I follow. Thank you. And like I said, I understand that. I understand everyone's waiting on my take. And I'm not trying to like debate you or anything like that. We're gonna get into it all, but I definitely have to get my AP spending because I haven't spent it all day, and that's you know. Well, I say I haven't spent it all day. I did spend it, but just not enough. I never got it spent all the way down or anything like that. So that's why we had to do it. I did also earlier today spend like lunch and a little bit of the afternoon eating with my parents. They were well, and it was my mother's birthday, and we had tacos, and they were fantastic. I might pull for Eresh to put her on my support list. That's intriguing. Why would you do it just to put her on your support list? I feel like you're just doing it for you at that point. Momo Caster wanted to bless my Eresh rolls. Nice. Should make a video on it so people won't ask you when they come to stream every time. Oh, Watermelon. That's a great idea, except it won't stop it. Everyone will still ask. In fact, I'll probably be giving my opinion on this for the next like 3 months. And that's being conservative. I'll be lucky if people stop asking me my opinion on these things. Happy birthday to your mom. Thank you. Yeah, she's actually been doing some painting lately, and my mother is very talented at that sort of thing. I'm always like, wow, I just like part of me wishes that she had like stuck with it because she ended up like kind of falling off for a long period in time due to various things. Like she actually injured her wrist for a while and had to go through intense rehab, and you know, for years she was just an art teacher and never really got to actually practice herself. So I wonder what would have been had my mother actually like stuck with it the entire time. Who's gonna be the eighth Annie servant for NA? Are they any good? Ace, aka Tonalico, and yes, they are very good. Yet I've realized that your model will have a beard while you don't have a beard. Huh? But huh? Did you not think I didn't have a beard? Yeah, I was gonna say CAD stare begs to differ. Only copium I have is that they will do something for coins with the 30 million, but that is unlikely. Well, we'll see. We'll talk about that. What's your opinion on St. Court's reward count? Been seeing some saying it's pretty low. I don't think it's low. I think basically this is everybody still viewing everything with 7th Annie as their lens. Everybody going like, woo, we got 7th Annie, and that gave us like double the amount of quartz we've ever received in the history of the game. Doubly more so than any other anniversary prior to it. And now every anniversary that's not that amount, we're gonna judge it and say it's low. Yeah, no, it's still perfectly okay. Could it have been more? Sure. I think like it's always on the devs, and I'm gonna say this: I do think they have the 30 million download campaign probably right around the corner. We've also obviously got something like 10th Annie to consider, where they probably will go ape shit for 10th Annie. Does Aurelia have an animation to hug you? Not when she's on the other side of the screen, she doesn't. Mobile Twitch is now actually TikTok. What the fuck? I've heard mobile Twitch is really bad, so my condolences for everybody that's attempting to watch on that. They did an update recently, and it was awful. I got me an MP3 Space Eresh. God, I'm sorry, chat. I guarantee you when we go do the servant analysis, which will not be tonight. I'm probably going to delay that until tomorrow. But when I go to do it, I'm going to be saying Space Ishtar every fucking time, and I'm sorry. Did 12 multis? Nice. Did you get her? Well, yeah, okay, so you got MP2. Yeah, Space Eresh. That's it. Tried watching Trubs on my phone and it kept trying to move through different streamers. Yeah. I will say this. Thank you to everybody that did watch my boy, Mr. Two Love Trouble. If you guys never have, please make sure you go do so. He has been translating the live streams for years, to the point that like he is the trusted like voice in the community on that sort of thing. But I have started to see a lot of people trying to like compete with him on that front, and I'm not really sure why, because Trubs is a native speaker compared to the rest of them. And it's really like weird to me to see a lot of people trying to like kind of steal that spotlight from Trubs. I understand people want to cover the anniversary and stuff, so I don't like fault that sort of thing. But I find it really odd that so many people basically like don't want to actually give the translator his due. Like, to me, that's like, out of all the times you're gonna watch Trubs, that to me is like the most important. Two completely different servants that have nothing in common. You got to get their names right. Yeah, sure. Just like me calling Merlin Waver for like 3 years and vice versa. Her name is Sparish. Woe be upon ye. Sparish mortals. That's what that feels like. The funniest thing about Eresh is that she can't be NTR'd. Well, about that, like, what do you mean? Like, her gauge can't go up, but like, you can still take her, chat. You can still take her and use her. I've seen several of you already say that in chat, and I'm like, nah, you totally can. Did you see the new OG Saber figure? Maybe. I did see like something, but if you have a link to it, Age, send it to me, because I may not have seen the one that you're actually talking about. Probably talk about the Gauge 10 for the hug. Yeah. You just won't get her effects. Yep. Bearish sounds like you're calling her some kind of vegetable. Bearish sounds like it's something that's perished. Please, no more NTR posted. Yeah, I'm not advocating for that, by the way. I'm just saying, like, everyone's sitting here being like, oh, you can't use her on support. And I'm like, well, no, you actually can. That's not a thing. Dad, don't forget to do your master missions. Indeed. Actually, let me see. Wait, did I already do mine? Well, I guess I don't have to do anything on NA here. So, chat, you're in luck. I basically just get to go and do one of these, because I think it's literally going to reset in like 15 minutes, but it is what it is. I'll have time to do the rest of this. I'm already done with the NA event. If you guys haven't already, make sure you go finish the NA event, and don't forget to make sure that, like, especially every time you log into NA, that you come right on in here and you go and you tap that collect points button, so that you get them very nice 5-star embers that are all embers for free. Peak FGO gameplay. Yep. Behold, quality of life. CAD 4 out of 7 weekly quests. Oh yeah, was I not done? Hold on. What did I need to do for this? Hmm. And then that probably goes up to 30. Fine. Fine, chat. Fine. No! I've been debated. Okay, so we finished Gareth. I guess we go ahead and we do some woo here. Woo actually has the correct type of embers there. Curious about your thoughts on Fate Extra. So I've never like played the original or anything like that. So I'm going to defer to other people for how it looked, but I will say like it at least looks intriguing. Just from like an outsider looking in at that point, like somebody that hasn't played it. So in that regard, yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it looks pretty cool. Which servant received today's power up? They haven't happened yet. We'll know in a couple hours. Gameplay was mid, but story was decent. Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard for a while now. So I'm gonna say I think that going on into the future with the new version of the game coming out, that it at least looks like that's better. So we'll see. Gameplay looks better. They're definitely trying to do some extra things with it. Yep. Okay, so oh, God. Hold on, chat. Let me at least pull out like that. Well, one more. Just in case of the proc. I'm trying to stretch my embers as much as possible because I still gotta finish Castoria 120. So if I get the proc, I get the proc. If I don't, I don't. Okay, so either way, that should be enough for me to actually be able to run. And all of these will end up getting, like, basically just burnt. You know what? Yeah, I'll take that. Swoosh! It doesn't really matter what I'm doing here. These embers are of no value to me. This is literally just 2 runs to complete the weekly. At least I hope it's 2 runs. I just watched CCC on YouTube. I don't think I missed much. Yeah, I mean, like, in terms of the gameplay, I've always heard that, like, those games, like, again, you guys can see the trend, like, with Fate just in general over time. It has always very much been the whole, like, idea of, hey, you know, like, let's tell a really great story and then try to tack some gameplay onto it. So that's kind of just been how all the Fate games have been to an extent. It's always been a story first type of deal. So I think the better way to always approach them is from a like visual novel type of mindset. And then you get what you get. If you like the gameplay, then that's even more power to you. But if you find the gameplay middling, at least you got a good story out of it. Will future analysis videos be done by Cad or Craig? I don't know. I haven't decided. Right? Like I will see, because I don't think it's like that much different in the grand scheme of things. I feel like most people are usually looking at the screen anyways, like the crazy like drawings and the John fucking Madden that I'm doing all over here, but like that's to me what I assume most people are paying attention to. So if my face is there, it's there. If it's not there, it's not there. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I like that's where I've kind of just been like back and forth on it, just trying to determine what I want to do. What's up, Drink? How's it going? We did also run a community night chat. We played Prop Hunt and Gary's mod and Death Run, and it was pretty fun. We were chilling out, watching the first day there with Mr. Trubs, which I gotta say, again, I've seen so many of you guys be like, oh, they never announced anything the first night. And that's just not true. They definitely announced stuff the first night. You guys got to see. We got 3 different huge announcements the first night. And I've been trying to tell you guys that. And this is going to be like how it will be going forward. I think a lot of people like assume that there's nothing and y'all end up missing out. And I find it hilarious every time. Even with Trubs during the anniversary stream, so many people after the actual servant announcement ended up leaving, and they totally missed an extra reveal that they did at the end that is at least significant for the future of FGO. And that's why, like, I kept kind of chuckling to myself, just going, like, I don't know why people aren't actually like, oh crap, I just did it on Charlie himself. Well, that's gonna be, thank God I'm in this node. Rip, no, it's not rip because this node is stupid easy. Rip for Charlie, yes. Okay, so let's do that, then that, and then that. That should be fine. Gadoosh. Little weenie enemies have no HP, cards murder them. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is probably what I should be doing any of the times other than actually NPing. I just am sitting here going like, wait, I kind of feel the need to pay attention to some degree. Hello, Robo. What did they reveal? I fell asleep before the stream. That sounds like bait. That sounds like you guys should have paid attention towards the end of it. Went on mobile Twitch to see the update. It sure is different. I haven't done it myself yet, so you guys would have to tell me. Oh, was that still not enough? Do I have to do one more? Oh, come on, man. 7 minutes left, and I gotta get, fine. Gotta get 10 more. Watch. Yeah, I was gonna say, watch as I have to run it a second time because I only end up with the 9. Okay, now either way here, I am queued in to do either option. The carding is faster, so we'll end up doing it. CAD living dangerously at reset. It's not a huge issue. In fact, if I actually do manage... Wait, what am I doing? It doesn't matter, but whatever. See, literally even that amount of hesitation, if you have somebody that has a fast NP, that would actually, like, defeat the entire point of carding there. Good luck trying to find new streamers with the mobile layout. Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, everybody can get upset over like Twitch and everything, FGO and everything, but Twitch is doing a worse job at this current point in time. I've heard that basically like its market share for live streaming has gone down while like basically YouTube and several of the other competitors have gone up. And I don't think it's necessarily like that crazy of a statement to say, because I think part of it is just the fact that they actually allowed for it. But like for multi-streaming and everything, so people are naturally going to gravitate to the platform of their choice. But I do think that there is some consideration of like, hey, Twitch, maybe you could be doing a better job. Maybe the whole reason people are not wanting to watch on the platform is because you have made it like annoying with regards to like ads and stuff like that. So I feel like that's the number one thing killing them. Kind of like the coin situation with FGO. So it's like, to a degree, I think that's just basically their biggest issue. Aurelia's getting closer. Oh, wow. I actually didn't see that. Yeah, what are you doing? There you go. I have no idea what chat's doing there. Looking respectfully, I see. Now, someone redeemed the dance, obviously. There we go. We'll do it like that. Bonk. What were you saying something? I was distracted by Booba. And then chat assaults her. I see how it is. Can't see chat, just jiggle. Exactly. Oh, whoops, she's inverted. Okay. I think she's been dancing for like 10 minutes. That's just because chat has actually redeemed the dance and doesn't want to actually watch anything. So it is what it is. It was the horny bonk. I can see. All right, see, there you go, chat. Look, plenty of time to spare. All of like, we still had 5 minutes remaining. We're perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I gotta be honest, I often do like miss completing the weeklies because of stuff like that, where like I go like, oh yeah, there's nothing else I have to do, and I just like move on and it ends up being a thing. And apples, 100 quartz. That should be enough for now. Oh my god, why'd you go all the way to the bottom? There we go. Actually, how much time do I have? Well, that's certainly close. At least there's 4 times suck rate right now, chat. All right, who do I want to dump these into? First of all, we're going to remedy the Lalter situation, because the Lalter situation should not be the way that it is. Oh my god. Game. Game. There we go. There's like, okay, so you know why it's 4 and not 5? They once said when they did 5 times suck for 5th Annie that they would never do 5 times again. So that's why it was only that. That's why it's only 4. They know, and they know not to touch it. All right, so now my Lalter is 100. She's out of there. Let's finish leveling her. Actually, let's see. Do I have any class numbers? No. Boom. Suck times 10 soon? I don't know. We'll see, right? Like, we'll see if they do something crazy for 10th Annie. I'm hearing it's times 6, maybe. Yeah, I have some foes that need sorting, and then I guess we'll finish off Huang Fei Hu. Because I gotta like get these embers out of there. They should allow you to ascend a unit, but keeping them at level 1, right? That would be nice. Okay, there we go. Do him. Fei who? Yeah, who? Who are Fei? I actually do like this ascension some. You got that golden hair streak. That golden spark. 2 minutes on an A? Yep. Wait, 100%? What are you guys talking about? They've never done 100%. Unless you're referring to something else that I'm not familiar with. Yeah, when do you think JP will get a Castria rerun? I don't know. They haven't gone too long without giving her one. I think they know that she's kind of important in that regard. They did. It was a bug. Oh, okay. Yeah. Castria just had a rerun a few months back. Yep. She'll probably get one before the end of the year again, because they're probably going to do some stuff. His hair is so much more golden in this form. I like how long the vocals are here. Yeah, I do remember they rolled it back. Think we'll get Fate Stay Night related banner soon? It's possible. It's certainly possible. We'll probably talk about the strengthening predictions tonight as well. Oh my lord. He's still talking. What the fuck? Long ass talking. Dude, I remember like, you know, again, like you ascend Arturian, she's like, thank you, master. That's it. That's all she does. Good old year one units. Yeah, they don't waste your time. Is Merlin still worth rolling in current year? Yes. Absolutely. She's a woman of a few words. Mm-hmm. Sometimes short is sweet, right? Here, kill this small joke done. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, let's get that into my inventory at least. And then maybe that too. And I'm gonna have so I have 19 days to deal with the rest of these problems. It's not much of a problem, right? Like you guys can see, I have plenty of projects to work on, and I have plenty of grails as well. The wyverns are approaching, Master. Yeah, I was about to say something critically important that you would absolutely love to know about me, but wyverns! Suddenly. Sounds like a problem for future CAD. Sounds like a problem for CAD, not the day of anniversary, which, by the way, chat, I was up until like pretty much 5:15 a.m. and then I ended up going to sleep. So I did see some people saying that some of the stuff that I tweeted was not 100% correct, but most of those I think got disproven and I was correct. I think and let me actually double check here real quick because I wanted to see on my own end. Oh yeah, I said crit rate up. That's my bad. That was like I knew it was crit damage. I just said crit rate. Obviously, you can't enhance your own character's crit rate, but I'm so used to like talking about that sort of thing. With regards to like enemy abilities and stuff like that that slipped out, so that was my bad. I think that's the only mistake I made in all the tweets. Okay, so let's go ahead and start because we kind of got to do a recap here. Did you get the MP shop stuff? No, I have not yet. All right, so let's begin. Now, basically, the first day there, we had several announcements. We had the announcement of, obviously, the Fate Extra Record, release window. We know it's 2025. We don't know anything else with regards to that. I'm probably going to get DMCA'd, so my apologies in advance for this. But here it be. Let me kill song request here for just a second.
何か欠けた夢を見ていたようだ。
Oh, hold on. I'm getting that double.
いかなる時代、いかなる歳月が流れようと、戦いをもって頂点を決するのは人の摂理。これより聖杯戦争を開始する。汝、自らをもって最強を証明せよ。
God, I love that man's voice.
そなたが世のマスターか。
Master.
こちらに拒否権はないとしても、またおかしなマスターにぶつかったな。
契約成立。よろしくお願いしますね。
Okay, the game looks gorgeous. it's a lot more 3D than I was expecting it to be. And then, chat, can we stop and can we talk about how this just feels like it's like, where is it? Yeah, right there. This just reminds me of the like Sonic snowboarding levels. That's all this is. In my mind, this is Sonic snowboarding. And it's interesting too, because it looks like either the individual servants have rooms, or because like right there, the last frame, that's Tamamo. Then you have Emiya. But it may also be like you decorating your room. I'm not sure. Because again, like I said, I have not played the original. And then there's Umu. Because like all the rooms are actually the exact same design, just with different furnishings. As you can see. I mean, with Tiger Plushie, they all had the Tiger Plushie, actually.
フェイトエクストラレコード2025年発売予定
It's a lot of voice actors saying things at the same time. But yeah, so again, 2025, I gotta give them props. I gotta give them props. Every revelation that happened included this. They finally understand, which is exactly why I'm not purchasing Tsukihime. I understand you guys want to support it. It's perfectly fine. I'm not going to tell you not to, but the fact that this is all on Steam, everything is coming to Steam, and Tsukihime is the one thing that isn't, I'm going to tell you right now, I actually have an idea as to why Tsukihime might not be coming to Steam. It may have to do with Steam. It may have to do with the fact that I suspect they would have to classify Tsukihime as an early access game, which does come with some considerations. What do I mean? Well, Tsukihime's not complete. And so that's kind of a problem. There's still the second part. And so that may actually be why it's not getting released on Steam yet. It could also be that one of the platforms paid for some kind of exclusivity, but it's really weird because it's just PlayStation and Switch that it's on right now. So I'm not even sure that that's the case. But yeah, I do wonder if that's kind of what's going on, because you end up with this sort of like weird thing where that's the only one being kept off. And I don't really understand why otherwise. It just really feels pretty odd at this point. And I do think that when we finally get part 2, you will probably end up seeing it on Steam. But at least for right now, it appears to not be the case. But yes, I am A-okay with this. This is using Unreal Engine, which is certainly another interesting thing. I do think it's good to see as well that they are using Unreal, because you guys got to remember, this is Type Moon and Studio BB that are doing this. And Studio BB then is going to be using Unreal Engine, which is definitely a lot better for like their future prospects. This is good for them being able to hire actual competent developers, and it's also good to get them away from whatever the scumminess of Unity kind of has been at this point. So I do actually like this, and I think this is really, really nice. Tsukihime wasn't originally developed for Steam, and it was the first of these remakes made. Yeah, there may be other considerations in there, but we'll see. I will also say, chat, I don't often try to draw attention over here because we get some pretty crazy stuff, but yeah, I'm just going to point this out, that this is how things are trending right now for like anybody on the outside of FGO looking in. You are basically right now complaining so much that it's at least getting attention one way or the other, either for better or for worse. Okay. It's to be expected, it is, to a degree, right? And then let's see, what else did we get? Because yesterday we had I tweeted this out myself, but this was we got revealed that Hollow Ataraxia is getting a remaster, I think it is. You can tell, okay, like straight up, this is just, Steam at this point and Nintendo Switch. I do find it really interesting that this one's not on Sony, but if I had to bet, and I don't actually know the history on this one, chat, but was Hollow Ataraxia originally released on the PSP? So it may still be considered to be relevant for Sony in that regard. PS Vita. Okay, yeah, and Vita, I think, is still quote-unquote supported. So there may be some actual contractual issue with that. But I'm not sure, right? Like, I couldn't tell you, but I do think it's interesting in that regard. Either way, we'll see. I'm still happy that this is actually getting, again, developed for English, basically. And how do we know it's developed for English? Because of this, and even if it weren't, chat, somebody would just go ahead and put it in there. Either way, I'm okay with that. I'm gonna make a bold claim right now. They actually don't have to localize their games as long as they're released on Steam. Because one way or the other, somebody's going to end up doing a translation and slapping it in there, even as a mod. So I think the important thing is by bringing it to Steam, you bring it to a much broader Western audience and you gain the ability for them to actually financially support you rather than just pirating it constantly. And like, I hate to say it, but PS Vita and stuff like that, like, no, that sort of thing never really took off here in the West. It was much more prevalent and popular over in Japan. So all the things that are released on like PSP and PS Vita and stuff like that, they never really had that same sort of exposure, even if they technically were available to some degree. But we'll see. And like I said, so that's the important thing. I think it's actually important that they bring it to Vita, or sorry, not to Vita, to Steam, rather than worrying too much about the translation aspect of everything. We did have, obviously some things that kind of got shown off, like the Chinese 8th anniversary, so they're a year behind, and they had their own unique visual that they were trying to like tout for a little bit there. We also ended up having basically the Nippon Memoir. I'm not sure how to say that, but this was like the teaser that they kept flashing throughout the entirety of the live stream. I do want to see if they actually put it all together. I'm sure there is one out there, but like there were several of these that they kind of put out, and I want to see the whole thing. We did get the announcement for NA's drama log, and NA having basically whatchamacallit, chat. A panel at Anime NYC. We know all of that's coming. And we also ended up having basically the announcement a couple days ago, on the first day of Fate's Day Night coming. And I actually deleted that tweet because my tweet was conjecture that it was probably coming on the 7th. And then very quickly thereafter, they actually confirmed, because the Steam page went up, that it was actually coming out on the 8th. So you guys are getting Fate Stay Night here very quickly on the 8th here. And let me actually pull it up for you guys if I can. Yeah, so Fate Stay Night Remastered. It's 10% off right now. It's going to be out in 2 days. Again, I believe it's... Yeah, okay, so wait, hold on. So it is August 7th. I'll have to look at what the timing of that is, because, like, that's really, really odd, because they sit in there. Okay, it's August 8th JST. I was right! I was right! Everyone else was wrong! What the shit? I shouldn't have deleted my tweet. I was actually right. So, and that's what I figured, because they were announcing it was coming out on the 8th in multiple languages, including English. So, at that point, I figured, well, the 8th is probably going to be the 7th our time, since we're like 16 hours behind them. And sure enough, that does appear like that's going to be the case. So, yeah, That's what I was assuming, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's confirmed to be coming out on the 8th. No, it's not. It's confirmed to be coming out on the 7th for us here in the States. So yeah, I'm not crazy. Everyone else is. So no, this is actually great. I will add it to my wish list. But like I said, people were saying that this is like 10% off or something right now. I don't know. I haven't seen, and it doesn't look like you can actually like pre-order it and pre-purchase it, which is kind of odd. But it is what it is. So either way, I do want to kind of say, if you guys are going to support like anything that like, you know, Fate in general does, supporting the original visual novel is probably the most important, especially because you guys really can't expect them to localize stuff or bring stuff over if we don't actually. So my advice is definitely like go out of your way to try and grab this sort of thing. Because I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh, I don't care, I've already read it before. And I'm like, cool, yeah, you also probably pirated it. You probably paid nothing for it originally. So maybe do them that solid. I understand not everybody's in a great financial situation and stuff right now. But I do think it's actually an important thing to try and do. Steam doesn't do pre-orders anymore. No, Steam does pre-orders, unless that's some like radical change they just made in the last like 2 days here. Do I need a good computer to run it? No, probably not. Like these sorts of things, it will be remastered, so I'm sure they're going to improve it to some degree visually, but it shouldn't be anything that's too difficult for your computer to run. Steam stopped pre-orders. Oh, interesting. Why'd they do that? With the remastered VN on Steam now, will you bring back the Fate Stay Night streams? Yes, I probably will continue. And we'll probably just start over from scratch so that like we can kind of like progress on through. But I do want to say that is like part of the reason that I did stop was like the thought process of, well, they're localizing a bunch of stuff, and it seems like we might actually get a Fate Stay Night remaster. And you guys are gonna be like, oh, bullshit, Cad, you didn't predict that. Yes, I fucking did, because I knew this was the 20th anniversary. So I actually did assume that they were going to end up doing this, and I read the writing on the wall and went like, yeah, it's probably likely that they actually do. And sure enough, here it is. So I'm surprised that it's come out this fast. Mostly because like I'm actually surprised that they sat down and actually translated all of this fast. So it does at least appear like the localizers have been doing some work behind the scenes. I do think there's probably going to be some criticism. There will probably be people like modding and patching the game so that it does have, you know, oh, I don't know, a certain name get fixed and things like that. But certainly any sort of discrepancy between other people's versions of Rialta Nua and whatever this version is going to get pointed out. So it is what it is, but I'm at least excited to see it. And like I said, if there's any sort of issue with it, the community will fix it themselves. So Etchy scenes on Steam. No, Rialta Nua doesn't have them. There is a patch for like a pirated version of Rialta Nua that allows you to add them back, but I don't know that like again, will someone put the patch in on Steam? Yeah, probably, or at, you know, on some third party site or something like that, if it's not allowed in the workshop. But yeah, it'll definitely be a thing one way or the other. It's the 7th on the Switch. I think it just has to do with your time zone. I think it's a global release, so it's basically on the 8th in Japanese time, but that ends up being the 7th over here in the States. So we'll have to see. The fact that this doesn't have a countdown and the fact that there is no actual pre-order is certainly an oddity. And it doesn't actually tell us like, oh boy, JST. That's not a time. That is a time zone. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, I'm super excited that this is coming. I'm surprised it's coming so fast, and I'm A-okay with that. And so that, like, we got that, and we ended up getting the summer unit announcements here for basically let me see it here. For the first banner. Now, I had a lot of people asking me, do you think there are going to be like 3 summer SRs again? And I'm like, well, I mean, Eresh is definitely going to be one of those units. But No, I think it's going to be back to the old style of 2 SSRs, a male banner for a third banner, maybe even a second male banner, just depending. And then basically like 2 SRs on each, because that appears to be what's going on here. We got literally 2 SRs, and that's kind of what they're going for. So this looks like this will be banner 1. It is all over the place, I will say. Like for instance, the fact that your 5-star is Seal at this point is really like kind of nutty, and neither of these two really have any sort of relation to her. So it's definitely a big like what the F, right? But no, this is definitely one of those things that that I think is quite crazy at this point in time. And actually, hold on, there's a new version of the post. I forgot because I think I updated it with their rarities and who they were, because I was quick to tweet it out. But yeah, like I'll say this, at minimum, I definitely dig obviously Dobrynya's design. That looks freaking great, and I am hopeful that she is a much more usable SR in her summer form, because I actually do really like her as a character, but I find that her rider form is just somewhat lacking. They did end up giving her an upgrade fairly recently that did help some, but to me, she still needs that like 30% charge to really be making a difference. So, but either way, I definitely like the appearance of that. And then, yeah, Shufu, I'll be curious to see like why Shufu was chosen, particularly in the sense that like out of all the years to do Shufu and everything like that, it would have been back with Consort U and everything, but she wasn't out at the time. So it's definitely an intriguing thing. I don't think she's an unpopular character by any means, and I do think people will be excited for her. I'm going to be curious to see what her other summer forms look like, and just kind of what the overall theme of this summer is, because we haven't gotten any real hint yet. Now, I am going to say, and this is going to be my first mention of it this stream, really, but we have the Famitsu article coming up, and they usually do tip their hand somewhat in that. So you can expect them to at least kind of hint what summer's going to be. Didn't they say it was food and adventure? They might have, but I mean, let's be honest, that's a theme every summer, so that's not saying much. That's like saying your theme for summer is summer. Shufu is surprisingly popular. Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that she's not. I'm just finding her an interesting choice, especially given everybody else here. And then I have no idea what to say about this. This is just like wild to me. In all seriousness, I really expected that, if anything, this was going to be like a Annie pick. I did not expect this. I've seen a lot of people say that Eresh should have been the 5-star here, and that Seal should have been the anniversary unit. I can't disagree with that. I don't think that's that crazy. But it is what it is. I think it's just one of those deals where people are gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna go after who they want to go after, and it is what it is. They both are at this point a summer unit, and it's definitely very interesting. I do find it really weird, and I feel the need to at least call attention to this because it's something Mr. Creamy has brought to my attention. But I find it really stupid that they have restricted the ability to stream the Seal route in any way, shape, or form for the Tsukihime remake. I understand that's where like the majority of the changes are, but well, if you're trying to prevent people from getting spoiled about Seal, and you literally give her a summer form and throw her into FGO, you've undone that to a degree. So like, I don't know what the hell they're bothering with in that regard. It to me just makes it seem kind of weird, but yeah, I don't know. I do feel like Seal has the much more logical possibility of being actually story important because of the fact of who she is and the fact that we also already have Arc. We do obviously have Eresh in here, and you know, like maybe Eresh is tied in somehow just by nature of the fact that she is a beast. But she does appear to be servant verse to some degree, so it's like, I don't know, right? Like, to me, at that point, they can kind of excuse anything because it's servant verse, so it may not be actually that story integral in the end, but we'll see. She is servant verse seal. No, how do we know? We have no idea. like there will be obviously like some changes, right? Because it's her in Fate, so that's going to naturally cause some change. But we'll see, right? Like we'll see how she's actually implemented in that regard. If there is a welfare, there will be a welfare. There's been a welfare every single summer, so I wouldn't. I would say you're better off assuming there is one and getting upset if there isn't, but I don't think they would pull that. Nasi wants to do Saber Wars 3. I hope so. Saber Wars is one of the funnest events. I really hope that they actually do. It does say Mysterious Seal. True. Yeah. I'm honestly surprised we didn't get a Fate Stay Summer with the release of the remaster and all. Yeah, that would be great, right? But there's obvious reasons that they don't want to do that at this point. Whether or not we agree with them, right? It is what it is. And then obviously we got the male units, and that's definitely a interesting thing here. So, why is there? Okay, we don't need to see a bride and groom lightsaber dueling, but I mean, this is another interesting one because now at this point, none of these units really are connected at all. Like literally, out of all the revealed units, not a single one is related to any of the other ones, even in the slightest. They are each from different parts of the story. It is all over the place. We've got Bartholomew Roberts, Karna, and Percival right here. So each one of them is different. Even with the revealed female units, they're all different. Even with Summer Eresh coming in, she's different. So they're all kind of crazy. Shufu and Bart's bangs fetish? Nah, I mean, like, that's coping at that point, right? Because, like, at that point, then he's actually only here because of Karna. Yeah, for the same reason, right? But yeah, it is what it is, right? That's Bartholomew. I thought it was Arjuna. No, yeah, that's Bartholomew. It is not Arjuna. It is literally Percy, Karna, and Bartholomew. And the interesting part about this is this 100% appears to be Saber Karna instead of normal Karna. So we'll see, but it's definitely an intriguing thing. Wait, CAD ships them? No, I don't ship. Percy, my man. Yeah, their outfits are really, really good looking. At the end of the day, to me, this is a really, really, like, intriguing lineup and choice. It also continues the trend of, for whatever reason, having a gray-haired male unit as the pick. I'm not really sure why, but that kind of has been a thing for a lot of them. I'd have to think, who are our servants last year, chat, for that? It is Lancer Karna? How do you know? Based off what? He has his spear in the full art. That's true, but I'm just saying, visually, this looks way more like Saber Karna. Gotta love them silver foxes. Oberon, Gawain, Lancelot, and Tristan. Yeah, so I guess maybe Oberon at that point, but it is really, really odd, right? Some are Drake, some are Janako, and some are Lalter Trust. Yeah, we'll see. I have no idea who we're gonna end up getting for like the other side of things, which let me see. Did I actually keep I thought I did, but maybe I got rid of it. No, I don't see it if I did. But I thought I kept my my stuff, but I guess not. But yeah, so anyways, that was the reveal there, and I wanted to like compare against some of the people that I predicted, but I didn't predict the male one, so it is what it is. One SSR male custom. I don't know what that means. And then we started getting to the actual anniversary news. Now, you know what? I had the idea of going through my tweets, but there were some things I didn't cover in my tweets. So I actually think the best way to do this is actually to go through Trubs' video with you guys. Because Trubs ended up covering all of it. Oh, God. No. Hold on, chat. Let me mute this just so I don't end up going crazy here. Did he take it down? Did he private it? That bastard. Okay, never mind. Does anyone have a link to the actual live stream? Or is it down as well? He privated day one? Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him at that point. He got struck? No, he probably took it down. Check his YouTube. Yeah, let me see. Not to like steal from Trubs or anything like that, but just for a quicker summary because I wanted to get all the slides here. Okay. So there are 10 hours of this, so give me 1 second here real fast. As it's going to be best to skip towards the end. Because we didn't really get a whole lot in that sense. And they, like, interestingly enough, like, most of day 2 is kind of big nothing until towards the end. Oh, wait, was this... Hold on. Oh, this is just day 1. Hold on. Yeah, so that was the actual seal reveal there. Did it get taken down? Did he private it? He might have. Ooh. Lamau Trubs' avatar? Yes. The Trubs' avatar makes so much more sense now, doesn't it, chat? I got the actual stream, but not Trubs? Yeah, toss it my way. Okay, Avalon got me. Yeah, it didn't need to be Trubs, because I can kind of remember just about everything that was said. Let me kill, obviously, chat here. So basically, chat... Let me see. Yeah, this was them starting out. They announced the like actual like logins and everything like that. Basically, the rewards that you guys are going to get for doing, you know, like your consecutive logins, your daily logins, all that stuff. I did find it really funny that they had to denote, especially here, that certain items were new, which just go ahead and tells you that they straight up just reuse this all the time, which I find freaking hilarious in that regard. And then we got to the second campaign. This is the 4-time success rate, which, you know, again, it's nice. It's not that crazy, but I'm going to end up talking to you guys a lot about basically the other campaigns here. We got half cost like Ember Gathering, Training Grounds, QP, and as you guys can see, and I somehow this slipped my mind in the midst of all the other announcements, but also the Ordeal Call nodes. This is good because this means that this will be exactly what they're doing going forward, which is definitely nice. And then let's see. So then, okay. So then we got the new feature for what this is going to be is like, as you go to ascend a unit, or rather, not even just ascension, but even their skills, right? You're going to see this button here. And so it's like, oh, hey, you're out of the material that you need to actually farm. What do? I'm a new player, or I can't read, or I don't know where to go. That's where this actually really helps, because this buff, or this quality of life here, is actually going to make it so that now you can press this button and it will instead show you which nodes actually like have the material that you want. So you do get multiple nodes, like basically any node that can drop it. And then at the bottom, as we were laughing about in VIP earlier, you literally get like a node for like the pure prisms. So you get straight up, like it'll remind you, hey, there is pure prisms as an option. If you really need to go farm it, you can go do this. At least it didn't get pushed to the top, so that's the thing. I do find it sad though in a little bit, because it seems like it'll just recommend all of the nodes that can drop it rather than like, hey, this is the best node. That would be really cool if they like instead had some sort of thing where it was like, hey, this is the node that most people run when they want this material. That would at least give you an idea of like, this is the best node, right? So that's a weird thing, but it is what it is. Like, I think that's a nice quality of life. It's not necessarily like the greatest thing ever, but we'll see, right? And then again, like as you click through, it'll actually take you straight to the node. And they basically said like that's coming out quite literally day one there. And then everyone's like, oh my God. And then we ended up, this was the extension to our inventory limits on JP. Again, they do this every anniversary, so we ended up getting another 100 slots. They also increased the amount of formable parties that you guys have. So you used to only be able to form 10 different parties. Now you can form 15 is basically what this did. So it was a really, really nice change in that regard. And also, I think this is second archive. No, sorry. I think this is command codes is what that one is. So you ended up getting, I went straight on back to the beginning there. Hold on. Yeah, so we were right here. They ended up talking about this. These were more milestones, if I remember correctly. So basically, this is just like, hey, as you guys go and complete certain things, you guys are going to get more quartz. This is where sort of our total ends up coming from. And I believe Avalon did get me a total, so we'll probably skip over anything that directly talks about this. But the actual Saint Quartz breakdown is you guys get a total basically of about like 517 quartz. So definitely really nice, but it does kind of require you to have done everything. And I think that's kind of where some people probably feel like it's not as much. So I do get that because that's, I think, a little bit of a problem with them making a lot of this locked behind milestones. Does it consider nodes from the event that are currently running? That's a good question. I actually don't know off the top of my head. It might, but we'll have to see. And then again, right here was even more milestones for literally like completing story again. So you got even more up to 170. So that's where probably the majority of people are going to get a lot of the quartz from, is they have just already completed all of story. Now, this was an interesting thing. I thought this was like really hype at first, but they basically said, oh, now there's a roadmap. But the reality is, as you go into a new story chapter, you can now see a summary of all the rewards that you'll get. I think this is more to like tantalize you and incentivize you to actually do the story. That's kind of an issue that they're going to have. And you guys can kind of see just about everything that they try to do nowadays is designed to try and get you through actual story. It's not really a big deal otherwise, though. And then from there, we also end up having sort of the renewal. And this is a more interesting feature. So now instead, you know how whenever you guys use up all your command seals and it takes you like, oh, hey, you've now gone one more day since you used all your command seals and you have one seal. And then you go another day and now you have two. And then another day, now you have three. Instead, now you just get 3 every single day. So like, oh, you used all your command seals? Cool. You have 3 more to use the next day. So straight up, they're giving you just 3 a day at that point. And so you guys can go ahead and full use them all every day. That's really nice. It's certainly really good for farming. Obviously, if you're stuck on like challenge content and everything, like again, something like say a like servant gauntlet or something like that, where we got a lot of CQs in a like lotto or something, right? Which again, I hope they don't continue to do that nearly as robustly as they did in something like Tesla Fest, but it is what it is. But yeah, that sort of thing will mean that like, hey, you can go ahead and you can shoot your shot, and if you have to attempt it again tomorrow, boom, there you go, you're full again. So it's really, really nice, and it does kind of incentivize you to use your seals a little bit more, be a little bit more proactive with them. The sad part that I'm going to point out is that they still did not touch the capacity to use seals in certain fights in LB7, so people are still going to be stuck until that point, depending on how they kind of view that actual content. But it is what it is. I think that's maybe a change that they'll do in the future. But this was one that, like, at first it seemed like it was going to be really crazy, but then it actually wasn't that crazy. Okay, then we get to this one. This one's weird, okay? I'm still not 100% certain how it works, but we do pretty much know the basic of it. So this is a new feature that allows you to recommend one of your supports, okay? Now, I saw a lot of people thinking like, oh my god, you can now like have bias. You can actually select what you're going to see on the support list. No, that's not what this is at all. So literally, you have a new feature where you can go in and you can say, hey, these are 3 supports. These 3 supports are who I recommend to other players, okay? And in that process, then when they go through certain fights in the story, which again, you can actually pick certain fights to assign them to if you want, it will recommend them that unit of yours. If they use that unit, you will literally end up, both of you will end up getting basically 100 FP instead of 25 like normal. Now, it is what it is, but you can see there is a new button basically to allow you to like go through here and actually like see the recommendation for that. I'm going to say this sort of revolves around people to, one, actually put it up, and I'm going to tell you most people are not going to put this up because it's a lot of effort, I think. And 2, I do think that you're sort of relying on the person to actually remember what the fight was and do a good job with it. So this, to me, this is a really weird one. I don't know that this actually really helps that much. I think it's more designed for people where it's like, oh, I can't find the unit that I need on support. But the reality is you can only put 3 up. So this is kind of a weird kind of deal, right? Like, yeah, you could do that. It will help people progress through the story, but I'm not really sure what exactly they're trying to do with this sort of thing. Okay, you get 100 FP for it. Yeah, I get that, right? I get the feeling that most people are either not going to have it up, or it's like it's not going to actually like be a big deal or a good recommendation. What was this? I actually don't remember what this was. This is just story progression? Yeah, and then, oh, is this the thing where you get more? Yeah, it's just them trying to get you guys to complete all this stuff. Check the mountain. I can check, but I don't think the mountain's going to have the answer for this. Or do you call 1 and 2 prologue rewards? Yeah. Either way, it's just more rewards for us. More nice stuff. All right, then we got the servant strengthening announcements. I'm going to talk about that. Remind me at the end because I don't want to like get bogged down while we're in the middle of doing all this, talking about who I think it's going to be and everything. But we will come back to this. My only disappointment is that it is still just the same 14 that it always has been. You guys know I'm of the opinion it needs to be at least like 21, if not maybe like 28 at this point. They need to be kind of doing double the amount of units that they actually are, but it is what it is. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. Campaign number 6 ended up being the new appends. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's dive right on in. So to start out with append number 4 and append number 5, I'm going to explain to you guys what they do first before we talk about anything else. Okay, so append number 4 is an increase to crit damage by 20 to 30%. I kind of like this. It's okay. It's kind of like nutty in the sense that like some units already have absurd crit damage. You also have class score, which dramatically enhances the amount of like crit damage that people are doing. So this seems like a like, holy crap, what are you actually trying to do, devs type of thing. But it is what it is, and I don't think it's that nutty. It's just a solid all-around like good thing, especially if you're going to be using people for carding rather than say just all the time farming. Or if you're maybe trying to like get more out of your lesser NP leveled unit, but then that begs another problem. So we'll come back to that. And then we have number 5. Now, append number 5 is quite literally a cooldown reduction. However, it's confusing. So let me state this. There are basically 10 levels, but only actual 3 ranks of it. What does that mean? So essentially the way it's going to work is when you first unlock it, you will get it to activate 1 time. Somewhere in the interim, it will activate 2 times. And by the final level, you will actually get it to activate 3 times. What does this mean? So for instance, when you use, let's say, let's go ahead and call this skill 1. Okay. When you use skill 1 on a unit, if you have this unlocked, it will reduce the cooldown of that skill after using it by 1. It's that simple. But it's only that skill. It is not any other skill. So what does this mean? Does this mean you need to level it in order to get access to skill 2? No. It applies to whichever skill you use first. So to explain again, it doesn't matter which skill it is. I'm just using skill 1 as the example. Okay? So in that regard, it's whichever skill you use first, you will get a cooldown reduction of -1 turn after using it. So if you have a skill cooldown that's say 7 turns and you use the skill, but you have this append, voila, now you can literally have it on a 6-turn cooldown instead right after using it. So it is actually really nice, especially for circumstances like a Koyenskaya setup, but it doesn't end there. Because if you level this up more to get the second application of it, then anytime you would pop, say, your next skill, so your skill 2, that would also get a -1 cooldown reduction. They are not global in the sense that, like, popping it on 1 doesn't reduce the cooldowns of others. And they only can be used 1 time on each individual skill per run. So what does that mean? That means if you started out by popping skill 2, you would get -1. If you had this leveled up at least to have 2 chances at it, or 2 activations of it, then when you went to go back and do skill 1, this would also get -1. But it doesn't give skill 2 -1 again. It's not like that. So you're only going to end up getting 1 cooldown reduction per skill for however many times you have this activated. So that is to say, it might only trigger for the very first skill application. It might trigger for basically 2 skills. It might trigger for 3. And it all depends on how much you have this leveled. Okay? It's a little confusing. Just understand, it is basically each skill, depending on the amount of times you have it upgraded. So again, if you have it at max rank, you have all 3 applications, so you can do this on all 3 of your skills. They will each get a singular instance of cooldown reduction, just the 1 time. Okay, so kind of weird, I know, a little bit hairy. And if you guys need me to clarify in any way, shape, or form, please just feel free to ask, because I don't mind trying to like state that in a different way if it helps you guys understand it. But yeah, it is just for the first use of that skill, and not for any others, okay? Crit damage modifiers cap at 300, right? There are ways around that sort of thing. What type of crazy fight that's coming that they're giving us this? Nothing, because they can't guarantee that you have this, especially not right now. So let me go ahead and state this, just for the record. I told you so. I did warn everybody. I did try to tell the community a 4th and a 5th append were likely coming in the future. And I did have several people that were like, no. I have called this from the very first week that the append system was released. There has been nobody that said this before I did. So if you see other people trying to say like, oh yeah, I totally called it. No. If they did, they got the idea from me likely. But sucks, doesn't it? Right? This is not how I thought they would do it. And you guys can remember, I did tell you, I did not see them doing a 4th or a 5th append without a coin fix. Do you remember why I told you guys that? Do you guys remember why I told you I didn't see them doing that? Because people would riot. Yep, because people would get very angry if they did. And then they did. and then they did. Okay, so it is a thing, all right? And we'll continue to go through it because I think they talk about it some a little bit here. Okay, I actually didn't cover this one with the tweets, but so let me go ahead and state this. There are naturally going to be concerns, right? I think this is obvious. Okay, you guys get, and we'll use 5 stars. Okay, we'll use 5 stars as the example for this because they're the best. They are literally who you get the most coins with. So. And the reason I'm saying this is because as we talk about this, everybody in chat's going to go, but CAD 4 stars, but CAD 3 stars, but CAD. I hear you. Understand, if it's fucked for 5 stars, it's doubly fucked for everyone else. Okay? So here's the thing I'm going to point out. You get 90 coins per copy. Okay? Obviously, at that point, you guys know if you want to say, 120 a unit, that's 300 coins. If you want to get 3 appends, that used to be 360 coins. Now with these others, now it's even more. Now it's basically going to end up being an additional 600 coins. So you've got the additional 240 that you're adding for these new. So now you need, instead of 660 coins total, you now need 900 coins. We'll just go ahead and add an extra 0 to that 90 coins that you get. Now, at that point, you would need 10 copies of an SSR without bonding. Bonding, however, can get you 180 coins, so you can reduce that to NP8 if you wish to do everything. However, 1, this requires bond 15. You will have to have completely bonded the person in order to get this amount of coins. And 2, you will still have to roll 8 copies. So, let's have a talk about the stupidity of this community. And this is why I needed to say this. I needed to say all of this beforehand. And I have always told you, you do not need to roll that 6th copy. The people that are upset now, the people that are going, NP8 is too much, are hypocrites. They're actual hypocrites. Because that means that NP6 wasn't too much in their eyes. NP6 was already too much. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. NP8 is obviously too much. NP6 was obviously too much too. So, I hate to say it, but all the people that are suddenly now upset can go fuck themselves. They should have been upset in the first place. They absolutely did allow this. They enabled this to a degree. But, and I'm not trying to say that, like, oh, hey, you know, the problem is with you, individual chatter. How dare you? The point I'm making is we do have people in this community that seem to want to glorify rolling for that 6th copy, that seem to really want to T-pose on everyone and be like, I'm the biggest whale. That's fucking stupid. And this is the hell that they get because of it. Okay? Now, the point that I'm trying to make here is there was no point in getting suddenly irrationally upset here. And I'm not trying to say it's irrational to be upset. I'm saying I've seen people frothing at the mouth, declaring that the game is done and over with because they dared give you new features. The reality is, chat, you never should have been going into their predatory scheme to begin with. They wanted you to roll that 6th copy. And if you fell for it, you're to blame. Each and every one of us is. I myself, okay, I will go ahead and say this, chat. I myself have done it at least once. So I am also to blame, okay? I want you guys to understand that. I am speaking from a position of experience here. But I also did say that I regretted it after the fact and that I don't think that anybody really should do it. And I tried to use my own instance as a cautionary tale of why it shouldn't be a thing and why we shouldn't. Okay? Now, that's fucked for 5 stars. It's doubly fucked for 4 stars and 3 stars. People have also pointed out you guys get basically an interesting number. So remember, in the old system, it took 660 coins to max out. You get 180 coins from Bond. Why am I pointing this out? Why am I pointing this out, chat? Because this is the amount that you end up getting from the Evocation Festival for your welfares. This is the amount that you get when you get a new welfare in an event. Why am I saying this to you now? Because it is an indication that something must change. It must. It absolutely must. People will not accept this. They will not accept not having enough to complete a unit that they can't roll for. That's why I'm saying changes are coming. I know people want to have their pitchforks out. I know people want to get upset. Here's my advice to you. Every single one of you. Okay? Let's put on our thinking caps. What do we have upcoming? We have a 30 million download campaign. We have a Famitsu interview. Here's the thing. The Famitsu interview is actually when you get to talk to the devs. It's actually when you end up getting to hear from Mr. 2. Mr. 2 is up on that live stream in the middle of this. And Mr. 2 actually ends up presenting all of this information. Mr. 2 doesn't get to talk shop. He doesn't get to actually talk about the game. But he does during the Famitsu interview. You have heard me say this before, and I am going to say it again. Sharpen your pitchforks, gather the torches, don't pull them out yet. Let's see. Because I think we're headed towards a immediate explanation of this in Famitsu. I think you're going to see changes that are probably big and game changing with the 30 million downloads. And I will state this. If there is no mention in the Famitsu article, if the 30 million downloads campaign comes out and there is no change, I'm right there with you guys. I am right there with you guys. Okay? I, at that point, agree with y'all. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to say. It's okay to be upset, but let's wait and see. We don't have to wait long. There is no harm in waiting a couple more days for something that we have waited years for. Oh, yeah. No, I know the exact same thing was said the past 2 to 3 years. I'm aware. I'm aware of how stupid that sounds. But I am telling you guys, I will be right there with you. Okay? What I'm seeing today, right now, from a lot of people is a lot of people upset that they maxed out a character and they don't have the coins. I'm seeing people going, what the hell? I was so close to finishing and now I can't. But I'm going to say 2 things here. 1, I will at least give the developers some amount of credit that this does give you a choice. These appends are quite nice. They're arguably nicer than append 1 or append 3 in most scenarios. Append 2, append 2 is probably nicer than most of them, but it definitely depends on the unit. For instance, this, I'll give you guys an example. Someone like Arcuid. Arcuid's a huge benefactor of this. Not so much of like something like the mana loading, but she's an exception. She's a very big exception to that rule. So in that regard, if their goal was to try to implement some sort of like, hey, you gotta pick and choose, and now we get to talk a little bit more about which append is actually best instead of it just always being one, well, I guess they accomplished that, but it's not a good way to accomplish it. I can definitely see this being the case, though, chat. I can see them going, you know what? Let's talk about it. We'll talk about it in the Famitsu interview. We'll end up addressing the situation again as is. And we will end up making changes in the sense of in the future. Now, do I think it sucks? Yep. I think it's a fucking travesty. I think we absolutely should have gotten a coin fix, and I think it should have been here and now. Heck, I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. It either should have been day 1 that the append system came out, or it straight up should have been no less than a year later. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say to you guys. The change should have already occurred. So at this point, while I understand everybody is finally just now hitting their limits, I've already hit mine. I already had to decide a long time ago. I already had to basically come to grips with the fact that the devs weren't going to make this change soon. I've predicted a change coming for a long time. But that's exactly why I said there's no harm in waiting the additional month. Y'all are just now hitting that stage of anger and upsettedness that I hit 2 years ago. And I want that to sink in with you guys. As somebody that follows the game on a day-to-day basis, as somebody that covers it for you on a nearly daily basis, I am that invested in this game. I watch just how much the developers make these changes and what they don't make. I too am disheartened by some of the changes that are not here this anniversary. But, and I'm going to say this, and this is probably going to salt some people, so I'm sorry for this in advance. This is a good anniversary. There's a lot here, actually. The big thing that we didn't get was the coin fix. It straight up is. And I hate that it's not here. But the fact that I can take this out, no, it's actually got a lot of good stuff in it. I understand people are upset, but it is what it is. Yeah, chat. Let me state this. If there were a coin fix here, how would you feel about the anniversary? Uh-huh. 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 That's how I know, since pretty much all of you are saying that it would be good then. That it's all hinging on the coin fix. That's all it is. And I'm not trying to tell you guys to be upset. I just think that outside of that, and hear me out on this, chat. Do you know why I have this perspective? I already came to grips with this 2 years ago. I already did. I already realized that they weren't fixing it. So I stopped expecting it. I realized that I had to not keep judging every single thing by it. It doesn't mean that I gave up on the hope of there being a fix. It means that I just decided I wasn't going to keep getting upset about it, and that I had to determine whether or not I wanted to play the game. So you're prepared with all your Saberface coins? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And chat, I'm going to point this out to you guys. My goal that I've been pursuing this entire time. Look at it. What do I always make the big deal out of? Is it Bond 15? Is it having all appends? Or is it grailing? It's always been grailing for me, chat. Always been grailing. There you go. Okay. Jump scare? Exactly. And I really do. I want you guys to understand that. That I'm right there with you. I'm not telling you not to be upset. I'm just telling you to have a little bit more patience at this point, because y'all should have already been out of it by now. Y'all should have already been out of it. There is no point at which you guys should have tolerated their BS even up to this point. Okay? I think every single one of us had to come to grips with that already. What do you mean you're not an anime man? Yep. Beast showed up. 120 plus mana loading is all we'll ever need. Yeah. And so, like I said, I think that's all I'm trying to say. One chat, let's not jump down each other's throats. Let's not tear each other apart, because, chat, it's not really our fault at the end of the day. Yeah, people rolling NP6 and trying to glorify it are really not to be trusted at this point, but it's not even their fault to a degree. It's Aniplex, it's Lasingle that are doing this. It's not on us as the players, okay? What is on us as the players is how we react to it and how we choose to handle it, okay? So if you really, really don't like this, if you think that they should be making changes, I hate to say it, there's only one course of action that's going to bring about that change. And none of y'all wants to hear it. Go find Mr. Wallet-kun. And go lock him up tight. Like, I'm sorry, but all the people still getting like wildly upset over this. And like, I'm not saying like upset, right? Like, you guys can be upset to a degree, but the people that are like frothing at the mouth angry, if they turned around and rolled Space Ishtar, they just straight up condoned it to a degree. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Like, the easy way to prevent them from like going this route is to just not give them any money. Sorry, yeah, I said Space Ishtar, Space Eresh, my bad. I told you I was gonna do that. Was it still trending in JP Twitter? I don't know, but I have seen several people on the JP side of things complain about it. Japan's pissed too. And chat, that's what the reason why. So I really want to indicate this again. One, the Japanese community is pissed. That's a good thing. Two, we have the Famitsu article and the 30 million downloads campaign coming. And three, the current reward structure for welfares does not work. And there is no additional way to get more coins for them. At which point, chat, it is what it is. This is why I think there is a change coming. And it's not me being hopium. It's just signs indicate that they in deep doo-doo. Okay? When? It's a good question. I have no idea. My best guess is here, right? That's my best guess. If it's not here, then when it eventually comes, it might be too late. It might be 10th Annie or some bullshit like that. And not a good thing. Now, I will state this. There is some fuel to the fire of the 30 million idea. The devs have said, including Mr. 2, that the 30 million download campaign was going to be bigger than the 20 million download campaign. $20 million download campaign, chat, is the one that gave you an SSR selector ticket. So there's that. I don't trust Tucson anymore. That's fine. That's fine. Let me just state this too, chat. Okay, because I've seen a lot of people being like, oh, you know, like, hey, this is a bad take, yada yada yada. Listen, what do you want from me? Do you guys want me to be frothing at the mouth angry? Do you want me to like get out my pitchfork and call for their heads? We apparently have death threats being issued against the single employees. That's not a good thing. Okay. That's too far. Yep. Like, I don't think there's anything to be gained from getting this angry. Because I'm gonna tell you guys straight up. Okay? You have three choices right now. You have three choices. Option number one. Deal with it. You just accept it. You just keep going. Option number two. No money. And option number three. And this is the scorched earth policy, chat. Gnashing, wailing, moaning, crying, bitching, assaulting, harassing, threatening. Those aren't options. They're just you lashing out. Okay? And that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to tell each one of you guys to quit the game. I'm saying you all have to decide that for yourself. You have to decide if this is that line in the sand, if this is that moment. Whereas my advice to you is there actually may just be a thing right around the corner that they actually do fix it with. That's why I think option 2 is your best option if you're actually upset about this. I'll just do option 2. Exactly. And I don't think that's unfair, okay? This game has made a crap ton of money off of people. If this is as scummy and as predatory as you guys think it is, don't give them money. It's that simple. Option 2 is forced on me because of Google. I mean, on JP, you can now buy through the website anyways. After this summer, I really should cut down greatly on the number of units I'm summoning. That's cope. That's cope. And hear me out. Hear me out as to why, okay? Of course it's going to cut down on the number of units you're summoning after this summer. You go into a doldrum until the end of the year. Yeah, like it's excusing it. Now, chat, I'm also not trying to tell you guys not to roll, okay? If you want to roll, go for it. You shouldn't feel bad about it. If you love this game and you want to support the devs, go for it. I'm also not telling you that. And what I'm going to say in this regard is, chat, I don't want to see any one of you guys going after people that actually are spending money on the game and actually supporting people. Okay? The devs are humans too. This decision sucks. It's scummy. It is predatory. I don't like it. But I didn't like it to begin with. I haven't liked it basically since it was released in that sense. I've never felt like the coin system was complete. I've always felt like it's been missing stuff. And I truly believe that the developers have been doing it all along. NA Summer, not JP Summer? I got you. I love the game, but I don't want to support the devs. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's really on each one of you individually as to how much you want to tolerate. Okay? Do you want to tolerate the developers doing this or not? There are ways that you can make your voice heard. Again, surveys, not giving them your money. That's the easiest way. Option 2 is to try and get their attention on Twitter. That's not going to work. And hear me out as to why it's not going to work, chat. I'm speaking to the English-speaking community. If we're talking Japanese, if we're talking people on that end, yeah, you might get your voice heard. But the English-speaking community? Nah, they're not listening to you guys. And that's the reason why I'm saying it. Like, for us, on this end of things, there's no real point in us getting, like, wildly upset and bitching and moaning on Twitter. Okay? And I'm dead serious on that. They do the bare minimal on NA Twitter. Oh yeah, and bare minimal is I log into the Twitter deck, I schedule a post, I log out. I never look at any posts that are adding this this account. I never actually like type a tweet out to anybody, nothing like that. Definitely no reason to get upset with an AFGO. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I would say that NA is at least to a degree complicit in it, right? Like I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's Albert's fault. No, it's nothing like that. The NA staff doesn't have any choice in it. What I am saying is, again, the NA people can make their voice heard at least by saying, you know what, I'm not supporting NA now anymore either, right? Like that is one way in which you can do it. I do dislike the content creators that are raging at this, but then proceed to make whaling content rolling on Eresh. Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is, right? Like, I'll say this. I totally understand that people are upset. And it's okay. And I think content creators are caught in the middle as well. We on one hand, we love this game. On the other hand, we are deeply upset with the choices being made by the developers. We are in a situation that many other gaming communities have been in over time. And usually the only thing that makes the devs wake the fuck up is when players stop playing. Now, we're in a live service game, so there's another way that we can wake the devs up, and that's when all of a sudden their numbers start going bad. And not necessarily active players, but like they stop making less money. You don't buy their battle pass, you don't buy their stupid skin, you don't end up, rolling out their loot boxes, that sort of crap. So like when you stop doing that, that ends up being a better thing in terms of getting your voice heard. But yeah, I think it's a little bit, it's on us to do so. If you guys want, I can try to make something to actually like, I don't know, like I said, to me as a content creator, I don't feel like either A, I have enough pull that they would actually ever listen to me, or B, that they would ever, ever even listen to the side of things. And I mean like the NA side, right? So it is what it is. But I can straight up like easily and eloquently articulate the problems with this system, how they should fix it, and why everybody is upset at them over this. That's not difficult. I can go through numerous examples of why this system is predatory with the way it currently is implemented. And it's not good, right? But as I've mentioned before, like a little bit to a degree, like I said, I'll state this. I'm okay with a content creator whaling. I'm okay with them, continuing to make content for the game. Why? They're a content creator. It's what they do. Like, it is literally our job in that regard. Okay? Now, there is the point at which you could say, all right, fuck it, I'm done. But, I don't know. I'd rather we try than not at all. It's better to do than to do not. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's better to try and make a difference than to do nothing. Okay? But... and this is why I said, like, where I draw the line in the sand is the people in the community that are like, oh, bro, I gotta roll NP6. I gotta get NP10 of my fucking, like, 4-star and stuff. We've had this going on for years since the coin system came out. And like I said, the problem is, as content creators, we do have a degree of responsibility for, like, the tone and the example that we set to everyone that watches us. And anything that we do usually has a ripple effect. When I say one thing, a lot of people go off and run away with that, believing it to be true, because either people respect me or they assume that I'm telling them the truth. Now's the part where I tell you I've been lying to you all that. No, I like... straight up, the best thing that I could say about that is, like, yeah, I usually do take that with at least a degree of responsibility, and I understand that. I do unfortunately think that a lot of people don't set a good example and instead encourage reckless behavior, and that reckless behavior is why you guys are seeing this come out in the order that it's coming out. Even like chat, let's play devil's advocate. Let's assume there is a coin fix. This is still fucking stupid. Think about that. Think about it. Why is it done in this order? Why is it done in this order compared to the other way around? So even if there is one in the future, this is still stupid of the devs. This is still absolutely pants on head dumb. Okay? So in that regard, yeah, there was no amount of like anything that we did that's going to change that. But yeah, I certainly don't think that like glorifying rolling that extra copy, trying to be perfectly completionist when there's money on the line and you are representing what the entire community should be doing and how they should be thinking about things. I don't think it's a good idea in general. I don't think so, right? No matter how they do it, 5 appends out with a coin fix still makes people mauled when the final 2 get released. No, I don't think so. I think they actually can fix coins in a way that people would be absolutely happy to see a 4th and a 5th append. Hear me out, okay? Okay, chat? You guys want the idea of how they do this? Here you go. All right, let's erase this. Okay, it's not here. They have not released a fourth or a fifth append. Khadroth is out there predicting that they one day will. And then here comes your coin fix. And your coin fix is actually a way in which you can now farm coins. This could be any number of different ways. This could be lotto boxes, which would be the like absolutely chaotic choice where everybody can just farm them to their heart's content. Or this might be something in a measured and like regulated way. Like for instance, putting them in the evocation festival leaves, where once you're done with all of your welfares, you have these leftover evocation festival leaves that you can convert into leftover coins. All of a sudden, you have the capacity to pursue a fourth and a fifth copy on any unit in the game. Sorry, not fourth or fifth copy, a fourth or a fifth append on any unit in the game. This gives you a new goal. This gives you something to do with it. And I think the majority of people would instead be like A-okay with this. They might moan about like, oh, it's another thing I gotta farm. Oh. But besides that, like, yeah, no, I think people would be A-okay because they would say like, all right, well, the system is at least fair and I can prioritize the things that I want rather than, oh, I'm just fucked and I can't do anything like that. Yeah, exactly, Hodge. And that's, like, I've said this to you guys before. None of this is anything new. But it's a way in which they could have done things that would have absolutely been better and much better received by the community than the way things are currently getting done. Only when content becomes unclearable if you have not unlocked the 2 append skills, because there is not an implementation for earning more coins. That's pretty much the point that the issue becomes problematic for me. Yeah, 100%. I think that's exactly why. Nobody's going to have any issue with the append system the second coins become actually obtainable long term. Even if they're regulated and like you can't just go full bore into farming them, right? As long as you can progress, as long as you can work towards at a decent pace, I think everyone's okay with it. Like, I've seen people before say, oh, CAD, what if we got Bond 20 and they put more coins behind that? No, fuck that. That takes way too long and it's stupid. I shouldn't have to bond my character all the way up to 20 just to get enough coins. Okay, so yeah, that's an option for them, but that is going to take way too long. And oh, hey, now you finally maxed out their bond and now finally they're a completed unit that you can use to their full capability? No, that's dumb. I don't want that. I want them to be fully capable before I finished using them at that point. So, like I said, I think there are ways they can do it that would be a change. To me, that's probably one of the worst changes they could make with regards to it. But yeah, and I'll say this too. Yeah, I've seen other people say, hey, they should give us more coins for the amount of copies that we roll. So instead of getting like 90, it should be like 120. That's a great change, right, chat? No, that's also stupid. It's just incentivizing whaling. You don't want that. Basically, the entire community is pissed because this is a whale system. This is a system right now that is designed to get people to spend more money on the game rather than a system that is fair to all of its players. That's the issue first and foremost in everyone's mind. The fact that they cannot get these coins without handing over money, and they don't want to hand over more money than they already are, regardless of what account status they're at, is the issue. I'd argue the system evolved from whale to ultra whale. I don't think so. I mean, like again, here's why. Here's why. NP6 was already a problem. Okay? This is the big point that I'm trying to make. NP6 was already bad. And somehow now NP8 is where the community is getting upset? Why? You should have already been upset here. Already. This was already bad. This fucking sucks. Now, here's the thing I'm going to say, though, too. None of this matters in that regard. So, hear me out as to why this is a problem. Why NP6 versus NP8, and we start to see so many people getting upset over NP8? Because there were a ton of people in the community that were kind of gaslighting into, well, but with that 6 copy, I have completionism. My unit's perfected. Therefore, I don't like it, but I'm going to do it and I'm going to have the perfect one. I don't see this as a problem. I'm dead serious. There's no issue with the 4th and the 5th append. Not at face value. The issue is now it's even harder for people to complete, and that's why they're upset. When the reality is, it was already untenable to complete it, assuming that you had to roll an additional copy that gave you no actual damage or gameplay value. Getting that 6 copy did nothing for you. That was already bad. All this does is it gives you more choices. And I guess it pushed completionism further away from people. That's why you start to see so many people upset. But having more options that are actually good for my appends, that doesn't upset me. Not in the slightest. I'm okay with it in that sense. And I want you guys to understand, I'm not like sitting here being like, oh, yeah, this is a great idea. I'm so glad they pushed out the 4th and the 5th append before a coin fix. I'm just saying, like, oh, do I hate this append? Do I hate that append? No, I don't. I think they're okay. I think they're interesting choices for what people are maybe going to try and do on these sorts of things. But yeah, it's never really been the appends themselves that have been the problem. It's always been the coins and how they're implemented. And I've tried to tell you guys this before, right? Even then, the coin system looks really fucking smart. Why? Hear me out. So you have a system that is added in year 6 of the game. In a live service game. This new system adds whole new sets of goals and objectives to complete on old characters. And not only do we add that, we also add a sync to the system in case you end up with too many coins. This is actually a genius system. This is really good from a live service model. This injects so much life into your game, and it gives so many people more things to do. This is great. Where's the problem? Well, the devil's always in the details. The problem is, okay, how much append does it cost? Per append does it cost? 120. How much does it cost to 120 a character? 300. How many coins do we get per copy? 90? That's your issue. That's untenable. Like, even for SSRs, this number sucks. This is why I said, that means your 4 stars, your 3 stars, everybody else is just more fucked than the 5 stars. But if it sucks for the best case scenario, it sucks for everybody. $89, they've incentivized rolling up to NP9. No, I mean, it's NP8 with Bond 15, right? But yeah, I don't think anybody basically needs to, like, sit here and try to glorify rolling for those additional copies. I don't think it matters. I think it's stupid as fuck, and that's my biggest issue with a lot of this. I hate the fact that the devs are getting away with it, mostly because we've sat here for the past, like, 2 years since the system came out, and we've let them off that hook. We have not continued to call them out for it. We've been like, yeah, when are they going to do a coin fix? I don't know. They're probably never going to do a coin fix. But I'm still going to roll MP6, and I'm going to get my perfected unit. And the cycle begins anew. And like I said, I guarantee you every single person, like, I myself, when JP got that anniversary, sorry, not that anniversary, when they got that survey here recently, I myself ended up going out of my way to end up like pointing out to them that, hey, look, the coin system still needs fixing. Here's how you need to fix it. There's just no way that this system works as is. It is just bad. Okay? And that is the way it is. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that, but I'm just going to say that's always been an issue. Like, it's not suddenly now an issue, chat. Like, we don't suddenly go, oh, hey, the 4th and the 5th appends are problems. It's been a problem from append 1, 2, and 3. Chat, y'all remember my Okitan? I know you do. I know you do. I unlocked the wrong append on Okitan. And I am fucked because of it, right? It just happens. So this has all been problems with the system, okay? And like I said, it's just been there from day one. I've pointed it out to you guys literally as far back as the week of the release of the system. I pointed out why it was an issue and how it was going to continue to cause problems unless there was a change. And sure enough, time went on and we didn't get the change. We were thinking maybe we would get it immediately there at like, you know, Christmas, maybe with like Tunguska and something. And we ended up getting instead Grail casting, which at least gave us a coin sync for our low star coins. I said, okay, that's not a terrible idea. I can see how the system in the future would need a coin sync. Maybe they're building up to a coin fix. I'm okay with it for right now. Hopefully they've fixed it by the next anniversary. We get the next anniversary, nothing. We go an entire another year. Everyone's getting more pissed about the coin system. Still nothing. And then finally we get a Famitsu interview with them saying, hey, look, yeah, we're aware the coin system's fucked. We basically need to end up doing something about it. That's my biggest problem with them. They're aware and they haven't made the change. This is why they're reaping what they sow right now. It's why JP Twitter is so upset. Fuck NA Twitter. NA Twitter has no idea about half this shit anyways. JP Twitter is basically on like... I don't even know how to say it. They are just flying off the handle at this point because they're deeply upset over this whole entire scenario. They've been saying it the entire time themselves. They've been filling out the surveys as well. And the problem is the developers are ignoring them. The developers can ignore us. We're not their target audience in that sense. They cannot ignore the JP fan base. And the JP fan base will continue to get more and more upset over this. So it's like, it is what it is. Are you going to have to worry about that hurricane coming? Nah, I should be fine. It's been raining here all day, though. They have easy fixes, but do nothing. Remember, Grail casting is universal coins? Yeah. Yep. Like I said, I don't hate the Grail casting system. I don't hate the appends. I don't hate the inclusion of a 4th or a 5th append. I don't hate any of this. The only thing I have ever and always will hate is the inability to get more coins. That is always the worst part of the system, and it is the only actual problem with the system. Like, think about it this way. Every problem that the system has goes away if you can farm more coins. For instance, my bad Okitan append? There you go. It's that simple. The second I can farm more, I can fix that. Hating is a waste of time and energy? You're not wrong. Coin Lotto? Yeah. I mean, like I said, Coin Lotto is the chaotic choice. That's the, like, fuck it, you guys can have whatever the hell you want now, right? Like, chat, I'm going to say this. If we end up with a coin fix out of this and it ends up being in Lotto boxes, y'all know they threw their hands up. Y'all know they just went like, all right, fuck it, give them everything. they just straight up are just like, it is what it is. We can't stop them anymore. Because, like, and this has been a thing. I do want to emphasize this, that, like, when we got to, how do I put this? I think it was last anniversary in the Famitsu article, Mr. Chu talked about the fact, like, hey, we've got the Ordeal call nodes, we've got storm pods. Here's why. And he managed to say in that process that, oh yeah, the problem is that if we don't cap you, you guys will keep farming until you're done. You'll complete everything in a span of a couple months, and then you'll stop playing. And he's right. He's absolutely right. There are absolutely people out there that would just go like, fuck it, here you go. I just YOLO swag 420 blaze it. I'm throwing all this cash on this shit, and I am just absolutely going to complete everything. Now, while I understand that, I think it's also just incredibly stupid of developers. If that's what a player wants to do, and the player literally wants to give them money, let them. Let them give you money. Let them complete it all. You're making more money out of them that way than if you cap them and don't get any money out of it. Yeah, the whales are going to necessarily, like, farm everything out and then get done. But, and I hate to say this, chat, it's actually a great thing for a gacha game to be able to be like, yeah, I beat it. What do you do now? Well, I don't know. Guess I'll come back when there's another unit. Like, it's actually good to give the people the time off. I'm dead serious. If somebody wants to farm all of that and get done with it, let them. It's better than trying to shackle them, chain them to the wall, and make it so that they can never move. Eventually, they gnaw their own foot off and they escape, and you get nothing out of it. I am now Fate Grand Order, yeah. When does NA get the 4th and 5th append skills update? I mean, you know, right now, 2 years from today. But, like, who knows? Maybe. Chat, are y'all excited to get this one early? Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is one of those rare changes where we'd be like, nah, it's all good. Y'all just walk that one in. Give it to us when we're supposed to get it. We don't need this early. Air Dan, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate it. As free to play, meh, I'm never going to get enough of a unit to get all the appends. So yeah, and I think that's an issue, right? Like that's the entire problem with the system, the way it is. The system is genius. The system is great for increasing the longevity of a live service game. If they just stopped being so damn stingy, if they actually just gave us the capacity, and here's why, okay? I want to say this. So when you don't have the capacity to finish everything that you're working on, your choice is either to spend money or to not participate. So which path do you choose, noble gacha gamer? Do you choose money or do you choose not doing it? And oh, would you look at that? The vast majority of people end up going this direction. When you can't actually participate in a system, it fails on its basic premise. So no matter how genius the system is, no matter how much it ends up being a really good thing for the longevity of the game and giving players goals to work towards and allowing them to enhance their favorites, if you can't participate in that system, it fails as a system. If its implementation is so poor that no matter how genius it is, they can't do anything with it, it's bad. It's that plain and simple. It's the equivalent that I can give you, chat, is it's like building a magnificent bridge, like the Golden Gate Bridge, and everyone's staring at it and it being like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And then you're like, yeah, okay, now let's drive across it. And oh my god, we built it actually with a bunch of like glue and toothpicks. Doesn't matter how beautiful it is. You built it with glue and toothpicks. I wonder how many NA whales are going to whale in the upcoming LB6 reruns coming up in prep for this. I do think you will start to see some people tighten their wallets, whales included. Like, and I've said this before too. I'm of the opinion that this is why I usually don't like to spend as much on JP anymore. JP's not that like bad money wise. It's actually cheaper than NA for me right now. I don't care. NA is my main account. And while I have played JP to its fullest as long as I have had it, there's no real reason for me to continue to like spend money on that account when I'm good and solid. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, maybe I do like my GSSRs and that's it. Like there's really no reason to go out of my way. And doubly so, like for instance, so let's put me in perspective here, chat. Y'all know my bias. I'm the Saberface guy. And you guys know I love my Saberfaces. Well, what if there's no Saberface this summer? What if it's like, oh, it's not Summer Lalter. There's no Saberface. Okay. Well, my account's good. I don't need any of these items, any of these new units. No reason for me to keep rolling. I can just ignore it. Because the real thing I desire is the Saberfaces. So at that point, it is what it is. Right? And I'm not sitting here trying to say this to like dunk on people like, oh, well, hey, I got the Saberfaces. I'm pointing out that like, if you don't offer a unit that has interest to me, what incentive do I have to roll? And it's that simple, right? It is truly that simple. I only know the Saberface guy that goes by Drothka. Yeah. I understand. Is Seal a Saberface? No, I don't believe Seal is. You know, just based off of initial, like, conceptual idea there, right? But yeah, I don't know. I think, like I said, this sort of thing, it's just going to be difficult on people, and it just is what it is. It's like you guys each need to decide for yourselves if you're okay with this, if this matters a lot to you, and whether or not you need to do it. You need to not be at each other's throats, and you need to decide whether or not you want to continue to support the game over it. It's that simple, right? And what level of support that means, right? Playing the game's one thing. I don't know. Buying a GSSR is another thing. Whaling's another thing. Rolling in P6, rolling in P8. Yeah, I don't condone that. I'll straight up say like people should not be doing that. Like chat, you now have 5 appends. I don't know. Pick 2. Pick 2. It's that simple. Like just do that. Just pick 2. Maybe 1 even, like depending on your scenario. I'm wondering how much of a decision was made by the higher ups of the company. Devs definitely aren't allowed to implement certain things due to Big Boss. Yeah, I mean that definitely could be a thing. I look, I'll say this, and I've said it before. Y'all remember back during like Annie 6, and everyone was so excited because we had Delightworks changing into La Single. But over the top of that was Aniplex. And everyone was like, oh man, Delightworks so bad. Delightworks so bad. How do you know that it's not Aniplex dictating some of this? We don't know. And I'm not saying it necessarily is Aniplex either. I'm just saying, like, I think the jury's out as to whether or not the game has actually gotten better since Delightworks. Like, we've certainly gotten some nice stuff. We've gotten some units that we wanted to see, but I think a lot of that's like Type Moon. I don't think that's necessarily Aniplex. But how much of the monetization of the game is in Type Moon's hands versus how much of it is in Papa Sony and Aniplex, you name it, right? Or crap, even La Single themselves. So. I'll thank you to whoever subscribed on YouTube. Appreciate it. DW gave us how many dead months? I don't know, but dead months have certainly gotten worse. Also, a lot of the decisions go through Nasu. He's partly to blame too. I assume like gameplay decisions do go through Nasu to a degree, especially from a lore perspective. I don't know is something like that in his hands. So that'd be an interesting thing to see. I don't know, chat. Maybe Nasu's sitting there. He's sitting pretty. He's out like laid back in his like sun chair, just being like, it is what it is. I got the sun. I got a pina colada in my hand. I got like beautiful women that's surrounding me on like this remote like obviously like 5-star resort, and chat, y'all are just paying for his vacation, and he's just like, those idiots, those simps, I got them. I don't know, right? Like I couldn't tell you. Any clue if they're having a stream tonight or if they're done with announcements? They are done with announcements. Well, okay, they are done with announcements, kind of. And this is why I told you guys, okay? Like 8/8, big day. So I'll catch y'all on Mr. Two Love Trouble stream that day. Which is ironic, because that's gonna be the day that we get the Fate Stay Night like launch. We always pay for the vacations. It's called the summer event. You're not wrong. I'm just saying, like, yeah, maybe he's absolutely like making bank off this. Maybe he's not. And like I said before, I think part of the issues with the development staff of the game is like so much of the money does not seem to be going into like hiring new staff and like getting them an actual working wage. Like, I gotta be honest, if I were working for La Single and I was making like the equivalent of like minimum wage or some shit, and I see like, oh man, look at their anniversary, look at how much money they spent on this, look at all the like prizes and like cool like carnival like stuff they got going on, look at the elaborateness of the stage, I would be sitting there and I'd be like, motherfuckers could have paid me more. This is some bullshit. So like I do understand that from that sentiment. Like, any chance they fix the coin stuff soon? Yes. And that's why I'm trying to like back everyone off the cliff here. I'm trying to say you're right to be upset, but like y'all need at least a little bit of patience here for a time, because it is entirely possible that like in their infinite dumbassery that they think is wisdom, that they maybe did this in the wrong order, and that you could see a coin fix here with like the 30 million downloads campaign. Like, and that's the only reason why I'm saying that, because it's like it is possible that it could be right around the corner, and then like, oh, let's all go jump off the cliff, let's all delete our accounts, let's all quit FGO, and then it's like, oh wait, it was right there all along. We've been waiting on it. Cheers. yeah, you absolutely could see that being a thing. Abort, yeah. And that's the whole reason why I say it. Like, I understand that people are upset. You're right to be upset. But I am going to say that this is like, it's not like, oh, suddenly this is some travesty that they've done and that they've pulled. It's been bad, chat. And the reason that we're upset is because we've gone yet another year without a coin fix. Nothing more than that. That is the truth of the matter. Everyone's suddenly choosing to get very upset over individual things, and it's just no, there's just no coin fix. That's it. Copium because they leaked Arturia strengthening during the stream. Yeah, I'll talk about that here in a second. So let's actually like see what we can move on and talk about some of the other stuff here. We had the 7th campaign. This was they're bringing back the ability, I believe, to buy older Mystic codes. I didn't tweet this one out, but this is actually kind of nice, especially for you newer players that have maybe missed some of the old summer Mystic codes. I think this is going to be during the summer event, though. So I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to ask Trubs about this, but this is very much a like, hey, it's nice that we're getting this, particularly for anyone that missed it. I think we should never have like anything vaporwared in FGO where it's like, oh, hey, yeah, you either got this Mystic code or you didn't. I think it straight up should be one of those things. Also, chat. That is the Saber Wars 2 Mystic code. Because this is summer 1. And this is summer 5. And this is Saber Wars 2. Are we getting a space summer? Huh. I mean, it fits with the seal and the Eresh reveals at this point. Because otherwise, like, they're like, oh yeah, old summer Mystic codes. This one's not a summer one. So that is definitely here. Let me. Oh, there we go. Yes, the absolutely the Saber Wars summer, something that I've asked for. Which the only thing I'll say about that is that Shufu and Dobrynya are odd choices if that's the case, but I'll still take it. Hopefully I get Space Summer Lalter. Oh yes, please give it to me. Give it to me, chat. Summer Space Ishtar confirmed. I'll just be angry. But, you know, at least at that point, we'd be like, okay, that explains why they just did not give us a Rin face for, like, years at that point, right? It is what it is. They did include, again, old command codes. So I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, oh, yeah, but we've always had the capacity to buy some old command codes. You're right. They're bringing back more. And the interesting part about this is that like some of these are not purchasable a second time. So you're going to be able to purchase them in the Mana Prism or the Rare Prism shop. And I do like the fact that they're bringing back some of these because they're all old event not mystic codes, command codes. So definitely really, really nice in that regard because again, I think, like I said, we should never have anything where it's like, oh, you just can't obtain it. Like it's just gone. I think it's like the value of having played the game for years and years and years should be things like grails, crystallized lores, like just having all of your units up and prepared. That should be your advantage of being a longtime player, not like, oh, I have this like rare obscure command code that just makes my unit so much better than yours because you can't possibly have it. Like that sort of thing is like, eh. And I'll say this, not even about that, but also about the next slide here. Old craft essences, which I'm going to point out there is still an incredibly conspicuous one missing. Y'all know what it is. There is still one that they have not brought back. Yep, chat's on it. Ye old Ox Demon King. Ye old Ox Demon King. Poster Girl? Well, Poster Girl's at least a gotcha one. But this is a welfare. Like, you could only get this from playing the event. That's it. So, like, this is the one that a lot of people are waiting on. And honestly, I think we're at the point where it's like they just straight up need to release a quick and an arts version of Ox Demon King. Like there really is no reason to give Buster that insane advantage. Poster Girl would get me to win. I mean, honestly, you only really even need the one copy and it would already make a huge difference for you. Wait, is that Summer Lalter? No, that's so Ox Demon King is from the Journey to the West event. But yeah, so we are getting old craft essences. Honestly, out of these, this one's not bad. This one's freaking amazing, and this one's freaking amazing. Like these three right here in the middle are very solid. The rest of these are not terrible, but they're not like, oh my god, gotta have type deals. Which also, hold on. One of these is not like the others. Huh? This is a 4-star. All the rest of these are 5-star. Weird. Yeah, I guess it's just a collab. It's like, I just noticed that. I didn't quite understand this slide because people talked over it and I was upsetty. But like, I believe this is as you guys progress through story now, you're going to get even more mana prisms and even more rare prisms. If someone would clarify that for me, I would appreciate it. But I believe that's my understanding of it. Look at this craft essence. Okay, what about this craft essence? Are you telling me to look at this photograph? Uh-huh. It's Ox Demon King, but attack. Yeah, it's definitely not bad. Which actually... Is this from the new banner? Is it rate up or is it the it's a permanent? Ooh, that's intriguing. Yeah, I mean, at that point, just put Ox Demon King in there. But that may be why they're not putting Ox Demon King. They maybe want to give it time so that has the time to do the rounds, right? New Giga C for everyone to wail for, yeah. But no, and I'm gonna say this, like, one, I hate to break it, this is fucking nothing. Like, the devs really, I'm dead serious at this point. Hear me out, chat. The devs could give away literally 50,000 mana prisms, and it would still not get people out of the hole. They could give away this amount, and a new player would not be set for life easily. So like 1350? No, that's nothing. That's shit. That, like, chat, you can almost spin this in a single month. In 1 month. In less single. So like that definitely needs to get a lot better. A whole, yeah. And you do get 12 more rare prisms, which again, rare prisms, yeah, I'll take any amount they can give us. And don't get me wrong, even getting mana prisms is definitely nice, but it is what it is. All right. I have to state this because there was a lot of confusion about this. Chat. So this is the way the old system used to work. This is the way the new system works. Allow me to explain. You got pity changes. This is one of the changes I actually asked for in pity. I will, however, say this is the whaliest of the changes they could have made. Only 2 copies? No, it's not only 2 copies. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of miscommunication over this. All right, don't look at this. Don't look at this. This is misleading. Don't look at it. There is no picture on the screen right there, okay? Allow me to explain. Let's say you are rolling NP1 and you want to roll NP2. Let's say you get all the way to 329 spins. And you get the unit. Congratulations, you got the unit before pity. And there is no more pity. That's the old system. In the new system, you get the unit on 329. Congratulations, your counter starts over at 0. Pity is now permanent. It is on every single copy. When you get a unit, your pity resets. Now, it must be the rate up unit. So in the example of this, let's say Castoria, it does not roll over to a new banner. But this does mean that 2 things. Number 1, basically, because pity is permanent now and applies, it will apply to all copies. Okay? This means that quite literally, you get it not just from NP1, but NP2, NP3, NP4, and NP5. This also means that no singular copy can ever cost you more than 900. This also means that there is no reason to necessarily wait, but also at the same time that it is only going to apply to your rate up. So if you get spooked, it does not reset your pity. It does not impact your pity. Okay? And here's the thing that I'm also going to say. Yeah, I see a lot of people saying like, oh, so I need X amount to guarantee. Chat, I have rolled a ton since pity came out. My worst record is 3 out of 4 banners I hit pity. So I hit pity like twice in a row, then didn't, and then hit pity once more. So in 4 banners, I hit pity 3 times. That's my worst. By far. I'm not going to say you couldn't hit pity like 3 times in a row. It's also possible. I'm just going to say that hitting pity is exceedingly rare and that you're not very likely to ever hit pity 5 times in a row. In fact, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you hit pity 5 times in a row, like, I want to see that. You'll be internet famous. If you manage to take the full 4,500, that's fucking nutty. You beat the odds. You won the shit lotto. Honestly, that's impressive. Yeah, like I said, I've hit pity a lot, and it's just due to, like, again, rolling on multiple accounts and rolling a ton. But yeah, no, you're not gonna hit it 5 times in a row. Like, I can tell you flat out, your average for pity is somewhere around the like 15 to 1600. Okay, sorry, not pity. For NP5, it's somewhere in this range. Okay, you can be less, you can be more, but no singular copy is ever going to be more than 900 now. That's nice. I do like that. Now, what this does mean as well is even you free-to-play players, if you want to go for a second copy, if you want to go for NP2, pity's still there. You can still get it. That's good. Which is kind of funny because like I like the fact that that's actually kind of what they're trying to display here, and it's also hilariously enough exactly what I've been saying on stream, and I feel like I'm getting spied on. Like, I feel like the Lasengal guy is literally like sitting here in the stream. And he's like, yes, give me more ideas. Yes. Yes, it's exactly what I'll take back to my bosses and use for a promotion. Absolutely. Yes. Like, that's what it feels like. Straight up. 1800 to guarantee NP2 where you could have been shafted before. Yep. So it's like, you're okay. Say that we get 10,000 Saint Quartz tomorrow. You will not get 10,000 Saint Quartz tomorrow. Hey, listen, I'm not going to say that they take all of my ideas. They only take the bad ones, right? No, but this is one of the things I was telling you guys. They did need to make a change to pity. I like this change. I am okay with this. I still think pity can get better, but this definitely, as a whale, puts me in a much better place. I'm way more okay with this system as a whale. As a free-to-play, I would at least think of it from the perspective of, well, if I really want to get a second copy, now I kind of can. Now I know that I will always have pity there. So, like, I'm never going to get shafted more than the 900. So for instance, chat, oh, hey, I YOLO, soloed, and ticketed a single copy. Well, now I still know that if I want to keep rolling and try to get in P2 as a free-to-play, it's never going to be worse than the 900. So I do think it's a good change. I think it's great. You're going to see a lot of people that are going to be like, oh my God, this sucks. I can't save up to 900. This is ridiculous. Chat, this is going to come across as like, oh, he's just being whalish, but I'm going to say this from a free-to-play perspective. I'm going to say this from somebody that nickel and dimes this game to all hell and back. If you can't save up to 900 quartz as a free-to-play, get good. It's true. Get good. It's an actual skill issue. And I hate to say that, but it is the truth. Like, and don't get me wrong. Does that mean that the pity couldn't be like changed in its amount or something? Yeah, I think that's absolutely a conversation that we can have. But I see people all the time that claim like, oh God, I can't hit that. That amount's impossible. I'm like, no, it's a you issue. Because I have definitely on my JP account, you guys have seen it, like, I have saved up that amount and more. Surtra, thank you for the follow. It's not easy. I do agree with that. I do agree that the game absolutely is designed to make you wail. It's designed to make you roll. It's designed to be like, hey kid, remember that unit you didn't like? What if I gave them an amazing story? What if you really like the unit? Oh man, you were thinking you were going to skip it? Not anymore. Now they're your favorite unit. Now you just absolutely loved them and you had no interest in them before. Yeah, that is the issue, right? So it's like, I get it. I 100% get it. Like, I'm not saying it's an easy thing. What I am saying is people saying it's impossible are just lying. So I don't expect everybody to constantly save to pity. I just don't like the misinfo and the like sort of the gaslighting that kind of goes on when people say, oh, you can't do it. I'm like, huh? Stuff like this makes the game so hard to defend. Actually, like, in all seriousness, and I really do mean it, right? In all seriousness, this pity amount's not that crazy. It is behind the times in that sense, but it's behind the times when you compare it to like the newer gachas, like literally like things like MiHoYo games and stuff. But this sort of thing is absolutely like the 300 spins to hit pity. Yeah, that's actually normal. That's how it's been in many games before now. Newer gachas is the new standard before now. Yeah. Also, what's up, gurus? FTU is the only game that can oh, hold on. I totally lost that. I get the problem of trying to read all my chat there. Who'd you say is the better pickup, Kenshin or Yang? I guess that really depends on what you're trying to do. I think, like, I can kind of say Kenshin, but only because she's got that buff removal. Would it be better to wait for the pity update on NA to pull? No, because it's not really going to change anything. Like you should pull the NP1 copy, right? Because that's always protected. But yeah, I mean, maybe for like pulling a second copy, you might want to wait. Or like wait till a second banner, that sort of thing. Just because it's old doesn't excuse the old rates. No, I agree with that, but I also think that the game is structured entirely different. So it's why. It's why I have this opinion. It's like, I'm not sure that the problem is necessarily directly with the amount, given the amount of free currency the game gives you. Yeah, there's no change to NP1. And that's why some people think that like this is a bad change, right? Like people are like, oh, I wanted it to not reset across banners. Oh, I wanted the amount to be lessened. I think the big one that I want is the not reset across banners. I think that would actually be really good. I think at that point, it's like, okay, just every 900 regardless, I get a SSR. Yeah, that's good. I think that would be a adequate change, and I would be way more okay with that. But the amount and tweaking it, the only reason why I've said that before, that like I'm just worried that the devs will go like, okay, fine, now you get less. Like we'll lower the amount, you just get less currency in the game. We take out all these other additional sources, and that's why I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to take that sort of thing away. Also, we didn't have the pity system as it was in the first year of FGO. Yeah, I mean, it's a 9-year-old game, right? It is what it is. The game is definitely old. I'll say it again. I like this change. It's a good change. It's a good start. You know, from like, hey, we got pity. Now they've shown that they will change the pity. So let's see. Maybe they change it more in the future, right? I think this sort of thing is like, we got them to budge, chat. We did it. They're afraid. That sort of thing. May I ask if Avenger Nobu requires a 50% C, or can Nobu Black Grail loop? You definitely want a 50% C right now. I'm happy with this change. I actually think it's acceptable for a 5-star, but I really want to see 4-star pity introduced. So part of the reason I want to see it like not reset across banners is because then they can bring back solo rate up 4 stars, right? So for instance, when we were talking about our summer units before, do I still have it? I don't know. But basically, like you guys saw. Oh yeah, here it is. So like you're gonna get a banner with the 2 of these on it. But the way the system used to be is you used to be able to roll them joint or separate. And so that means like, oh man, I don't care about Shufu. I really want Dobrynya. Boom, there you go. You can roll exclusively on Dobrynya and get a better rate because of that. This went away when they implemented the pity system because any change to a banner resets your pity amount. And this is why you see them now instead offer separate banners. Like, this is why they've gone from like having 1 or 2 banners at a time to having like 9 banners at a time, which is kind of nutty. And it's kind of why they've done that, is because they don't want to reset people's pity, and they understand that that would make people upset. Which is why I think they just need to make it so that it doesn't reset. It would actually help out the 4-star system quite a bit. So it's like, to me, I'm not sure we necessarily need a like 4-star pity, but I'll say this: we need either a 4-star pity or we need the stuff to not reset, one or the other. I think that's going to be an issue until they do, right? And that's kind of how it's been. So anyways, that was the pity change. Oh yes, I love this change. You can now actually see how much you need until you hit pity. It's great because the old system, you want to know how they're behind on things? Dear Lord, this was a terrible way to showcase pity. I don't know why this wasn't implemented in the outset. Like, don't make me add things. I can't count. Don't do that. It's terrible. And I'm dead serious on this. Think about this from the actual like game's perspective. Think of it from the developers. Think of it from the big wigs trying to make more money. Hey, I know. Let's make them actually count things. Let's make them stop gotching and think. That is the worst case scenario. You do not want your players to do that. You want them to just fly off the handle and not stop and think. You don't want them thinking about their choices and how much they need to spend and how much further they need to go. Give them the fucking number and make them move on even faster. The more they sit there and think, the more likely they are to stop. And the more likely they are to stop, the less money you make. So that's why I find this really funny that this was not implemented from the outset. It was not only good for the player base, it was good for them. And I don't understand why they didn't. It's just really dumb to me. I'll say this too. It's why I think let's say it takes 30 quartz to pull, right? I never understand this concept of let's offer a pack for 25 and a pack for like 36. Okay, sure. Yeah, you got me to spend the 36. But you also made me sit down and think about it. And in that time that I had to sit down and think about it, rather than it just being, oh, it requires 30 and here's a pack for 30. Well, okay, that's the exact amount I need. Let me do that. Like this, I don't think about this. I just pull the trigger even faster. But when I go, hey, it's 30 and I maybe need a 36 pack because the 25 pack is not enough. Huh. Okay, I guess I had to stop and think about that. Wait, should I? Because I'm going to have to pay even more for this. So should I actually do this? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should, maybe I should hold off on this. And there you go. That's where all of a sudden you end up in that bad scenario where you encourage the player to stop, sit down, and consider their actions. This is the GSSR, so there is a GSSR. It's going to require 15 quartz. I'm sorry. There was one other issue with one of the tweets that we had. So they did break things down. This is your actual GSSR. Chat, at this point, it's already like 10:30, so I'm going to say we're going to end up doing all of our rolling tomorrow. But I did want to talk about this. But at minimum, like you guys can see, this is the way everything's divvied up. There's some really, really nice ones. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already done it. But yeah, I mean, like there's some just absolutely nutty things. Like even the very first one right here, you've got Dome and Ibuki and Tyra there. And there's really, really just some strong ones in general, just kind of like looking at it in the outset, right? Like, so there's just some solid options in this. You want to discuss your predictions for the servant buffs? I'll talk about that here in a second. But yeah, so they divvied it up. It seems like it's year 5 servants onward, unfortunately. I don't like that they're doing that, but I think they're trying to create a little bit of artificial scarcity with some of the older units where, hey, maybe now if you're a newer player, you got to find a banner and roll for them. They did say there is a guaranteed 4-star as well in it, and they now included the whole like destiny order thing where it'll actually tell you who you summoned and like whether or not it's additional MP level, whether or not they're permanent, limited, story locked, that sort of thing. So that's definitely nice. They also, so this was the confusion. Trubs told me that this was 1 billion QP, but the way Japanese handle big numbers is kind of weird. So it's actually 100 million, not 1 billion. So it's not as much as we were thinking, but it is what it is. So that was the other mistake that I made. I don't remember what that part is. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So this is they included an exact amount. You remember what we were just talking about? Hey, it takes 15 quartz. Yeah, this is an exact amount for what you would need in order to get the 15 paid quartz to do the actual GSSR. So they ended up putting it all in and giving it all to you. And then the 10th campaign was basically they brought Destiny Order back, which, like I said, we kind of predicted this. I am going to say I think a lot of people are probably overlooking this one again, but this is actually huge. This now does set a precedent for going forward. You are now going to get 2 GSSRs pretty much from every major like celebration. So instead of just 1, yeah, obviously it does make more money, but you get a second free SSR unit. Well, it's not free, but a second, like, guaranteed SSR unit. So, yeah, I think this change was one that we kind of maybe predicted, and this would maybe have been more surprising if we hadn't gotten the Destiny Order early on NA, but because we did, a lot of us kind of predicted this. So the fact that it's back, we've got it, and it's definitely not free. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that. So that was the thing. Again, they're just kind of pointing out how it works. This is a scum change. I don't like this change. This change was bad. Rosette, thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody. How's it going? Jack, can we get some love for Rosette? And can I get a mod to give her a shout out? Oh, and Ventos. Ooh, double raid. We're getting gangbanged here. Hello everyone. Window shopping. Yeah. We'll talk about this in a second. Hello, Mr. Ventas. Thank you for the raid as well. Welcome everybody. And let me it looks like my mods are currently okay. Burning got Rosette, thank you. And if you could also get Ventas. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting like quadruple alerts. I've got to look into that. But welcome everybody. We were just going over the anniversary changes. I've actually been talking for so long that I'm not sure I'm going to get to roll tonight, but I'll probably be rolling tomorrow. And hello everybody. If you guys have never met me, my name's Khadroth and I cover FGO on the regular. I hope you guys both had amazing streams and welcome. And if you guys want to, make sure you guys go give both Rosette and Ventas a follow. The daughter of Small One is here. I see. Surely you're just as incredibly excited about JP Annie as I Yeah, so I mean, we kind of got a lot of the complaining out of the way earlier. I did say, just TLDR, that people shouldn't be upset over like, hey, now all of a sudden we have NP8 being required. Everybody should have been upset when it was NP6. So it's like, I'm not actually that like upset over a 4th and 5th append. I also called the 4th and 5th append like 3 years ago, so it's not a major reveal to me in that regard. But I think the reason people like still are validated in their upsetness is like, yeah, we went another year without a coin fix, so they've gotta do something in that regard. And hopefully we get it soon. Martel, thank you for the 68. Appreciate it, my man. And Kimba, thank you for the gift to Rosette. I appreciate that as well. And in fact, yes, I believe, Rosette, we share a mother. Because Faye did, I believe, both of our models, if I remember correctly. Indeed. I have a sibling. Hello, chat. Meet my sibling. Did you know that subscribing to CAD guarantees that your favorite servant becomes a summer servant this year? Yes. Yes, your favorite servant becomes a summer servant this year. Like the reveals that they already revealed. I don't want to spoil you, Ventas, if you haven't taken a look at it, so I'm not going to say anything. CAD was on the later append scopium for years. Yeah, I mean, straight up, like I said, as far as I know, that I was probably the first person to ever point out that the UI absolutely had room for a 4th and a 5th append. So I pointed that out like literally the week that the append system came into the game. And I've been saying it for a while that I thought they would do it. However, I didn't think that they would do it before giving us a coin fix. So that is a new low for them. And like I said, we'll see. I did tell people, again, we do have the Famitsu interview coming up here soon. And we do have a 30 million downloads campaign that they are long overdue for. So who knows? Maybe we actually do get a fix, but we'll see, right? Like, I'm not telling everybody to hold their breath so much as I'm telling everybody, get your pitchfork sharpened, you know, like, get your torch, get it dipped in oil, and like, let's go out into the field and let's stand there and we'll wait. We'll wait until there's a reason to actually get upset. Conditions apply while supplies last, yes. Mr. Phantom Opera Master, my Nito already has a summer form, but she's not that good. Don't worry, we'll talk about that. Also, them saying to delete the coins you can't use before the append skills. Yeah, I've seen people say that. I'm not sure the actual source of that, but I'm not surprised if that's a thing. And I do believe that is absolutely a reason to be upset at them, right? Like, they themselves, it's almost like they weren't aware that they were going to do this, or there was some mixed messaging somewhere in the middle of all of that. I really hope they fix it. It's getting ridiculous. It is. They've definitely got to do some stuff. But anyways, yeah. So we were talking about the anniversary like stuff that they're doing, and this slide we were just talking about. It's the 10th campaign that they did for anniversary. This is the Destiny Order summon, so it's come back a second time now. So it looks like that's why they brought it to NA early, is we're gonna now be getting Destiny Order summons every anniversary at least. We'll see about New Year's, but at least every anniversary. So that's definitely a good thing. And like I was pointing out before I got double rated there, this panel is basically, they said, oh, hey, even if you don't have the money for Destiny Order, you can still go in and you can load it out, and you can select who you want, right? Like, yeah, hey, we can totally do that. You can window shop. And I'm like, bro, that's so bad. Like, no, don't do that. That's just baiting people even more. QOL debate spending. Yeah, that's not a quality of life. I don't like that. That's a quality of wallet right there. And then this was the other thing. They did include an exact amount similar to the normal GSSR. You can now purchase exactly 30 quartz just for the Destiny Order summons. So that like I said, I actually think that's okay. I think that's better. It's less scummy to provide that. So I think it's perfectly fine. There are some additional rewards. Again, your mana prism and your rare prism shop will reset. And then again, just a potential like spoiler here for anyone that doesn't want to see JP content, but we have our new anniversary servant. So I'm gonna back it up, and I'm gonna say that that this is coming right now, just in case anyone needs to hide. But yes, we did end up getting essentially 5-star summer Space Eresh Kagall, and it was definitely a surprising thing. Where again, I think I can actually show it. We don't have to keep flipping through it. So she falls down a ladder and sits on you and chomps you. And honestly, I do really like her animations. They're very cute. And you guys can see she does some interesting stuff. And they didn't stop here because they also ended up displaying some interesting stuff here. Which actually, it's kind of funny because I don't even remember them showing this much. But I think like everyone was going nuts as they showed it. By the way, I just want to say, this is a reused asset right here. So not only that, right? Like that's already kind of reused from Space Ishtar, but this is reused from Bradamante. Now, instead you get to see her face, but normally it would be Bradamante's ass as it goes by. But it is a funny thing that I noticed. It's a different view, yeah. But there you go. And so it was right there that they actually revealed like, oh, hey, wait a second. Hold on. It's a new class in that regard. So we got our second beast. And this is really funny because if you guys actually remember back to the Famitsu interview, Nasu was asked, would there ever be another beast servant added to the game? And he said no. And then Takeuchi said, wait, hold on, you can't say that. Which means they already knew, chat. Even back last anniversary, they already knew. So if you want further proof that, like, this has been in the works, this has been planned, this is why Eresh was, like, not given to you for so long, it's that. Takeuchi absolutely called Nasu out on his BS, and Nasu was like, well, I'm technically correct, and... yeah, you'd have to go back and look at the exact language for how he said it, but yeah, no, Nasu knew what he was doing. So, yep, we got a new beast class, and they did kind of reveal, basically, she is actually effective against the extra classes, and she is ineffective. She is actually countered by Avengers, which is really funny because people have pointed out, well, that's like Ishtar countering Eresh, and that's really cool in that regard. But it is a thing. And so now we have, you know, obviously our first beast who was effective against all the knight and cavalry classes. And now we have another beast who's effective against all the extra classes. So I have no idea what they're going to do for a third beast somewhere into the future, but it's definitely an interesting thing in that regard. And then they did mention that she has a unique gauge. I'll talk about this when we do the servant analysis with her probably tomorrow, or God knows when I'll get to it since we haven't gotten to do rolls yet. But it is a very interesting system. There is some peculiarity to it. I'm just going to go ahead and go out on an island and say that because there are there are 10 ranks here, 7 is actually like the base of what you guys should be able to constantly get to, unless you mess something up. Okay? That is the base. You can get up to 10, but you should be able to get to at minimum 7. So just keep that in mind. Probably no, she is the only possible beast from yeah, exactly. And that's what I was gonna say. It's like, oh well, she's from the extraverse. And don't get me wrong, Nas is gonna add another one down the line, we all know it, but it is an interesting thing in that regard. So there is a unique system at play there, and you can't use that system if you're taking it on support. So you have to roll Eresh if you want to be able to use that system. That being said, the system actually isn't that big of a deal. It's mostly that it gives her like defense pierce and invuln pierce. And it does give her super effective damage that scales with each rank. So it's, I believe, 10% per amount. So there's like 10 different ranks, and so each one will give you 10%. So it does impact damage, but like, yes, you can absolutely use her without having her yourself, and you would still be able to do okay. You just wouldn't get the super effective modifier, which will probably hamper things quite a bit. Yeah, there's a bunch of things. I can show you guys the entire limit there. And then, yeah, so here we go. Here was the new CE that Avalon was talking about. This is basically Ox Demon King, but instead for attack. So that's definitely a really interesting one. It is a new permanent CE, though. It's not on rate up, so just keep that in mind. And then, basically, we've also got other units that are apparently going to be appearing, which I assume this is the other banner. This is like your anniversary banner here. So it looks like you're going to have Merlin. It looks like you're going to have Kentucky, Ptolemy, and several other units here that are going to be pretty interesting. The rotating banners, yep. And then we ended up, you guys should already know this. This is how you guys pick your CE ticket, but they hadn't revealed what the final reward was, and the final reward is a command code that is literally Summer Space Eresh. So it is an interesting one in that regard. And I don't remember what this is, actually, what they're trying to say here. I think this is just the duration of anniversary, but I don't know. Was it summer? I don't think it was summer, because this was 8-4. 8-4 to 8-14. The duration of any. Okay, yeah. And then they had like new stuff that they give out, you know, on social media and everything. So it's like, I assume that's like a phone background that you guys can get of Space Eresh, which I know you guys don't like her and you would never want to download that. So that's perfectly understandable. And this is actually going to be the cover of your new Famitsu article. I did tweet out the clear image of this. This is certainly going to be interesting because not only did they include Eresh, but they also included Ishtar in it. So we'll see. Maybe Ishtar will have some sort of play in the summer event or something like that. But Ren fans, rejoice. You are finally getting your time in the sun after many years of neglect. So, again, they basically also, I think they said that we're going to be getting more rare prisms as well. And this is sort of like the retweet campaign and everything. So make sure you guys retweeted the stream and everything. And then they did the whole Chernunos knockdown thing, which was freaking hilarious. And they ended up making it so that it's like, yeah, so like it actually ended up falling here. So they got that, and then he has to do the last one, and it fell completely off, and then boom! Then you ended up with basically Ritsuka jumping in here and blocking the camera so that you couldn't see them put it back up. It was totally rigged, but it was the best type of rigged. You saw nothing, exactly, so it was great. And then we ended up getting even more quartz, so like I said, I think the quartz amount's going to be rough for people that have not like been playing the game because so much of it is locked behind milestones. But if you guys have been playing on JP, or again, like when this comes to an A, if you're playing right now, you'll already probably be fine because you'll get so much of it actually completed from that. And then I'm trying to see, because they did have a couple more announcements here, and I don't want to like miss any of them, but they did kind of talk for a little bit here. And this is where like a lot of people started leaving the stream and going to bed. But they had one last announcement. If you speak Japanese, you know what this says. If you don't speak Japanese, you don't know what this says. Arc 2 is ending in 2025. Okay? Everyone memed US, yeah. No, this is good. This isn't them saying Arc 3, but it's them saying Arc 3 is coming. So they are literally telling you that essentially Cosmos in the Lost Belt and Chat and Ordeal Call are ending in 2025. So this means you're gonna get something new for 2026. Okay? It's Fagover. God damn it. No. That's such a good one. That's like, let's effing go. Let's F go, chat. But yeah, and they did. I think they also announced that like a bunch of the stuff is now going up through like basically all of Epic of Remnant and everything like that. I'm just trying to see if there was anything else announced there. Okay, no, so that was the totality of the anniversary. Now let's talk about the servant upgrade since I still have a little bit of time for that. Which let me see because I need the image for that. Here it is. I got it. So, chat, we do have servant strengthenings. Okay. Now, we already had some leaks that it was probably Saber Artoria for this, which, given the fact that we have a Fate Stay Night remaster coming out on the 8th, that's actually not that crazy. This kind of works and it kind of fits. And like I was saying, she's not the worst of the AoE sabers by any stretch, but actually of the buster AoEs, she's been passed by just about everybody in an actual system other than Arthur. And we all know Arthur needs it. Like, I'm gonna say this. If this is Arthur and not Artoria, hallelujah, my man be needing it. He absolutely be needing that upgrade. But if it's Artoria, I'm a-okay with that as well. So it's definitely a good thing if it's Artoria. And I don't think it's crazy. I'm sure there's gonna be some people who are gonna be like, no, not Artoria, not again. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, I don't give a shit. She is the face of the game. She should be at least, kind of kept competitive. And the fact that Salter has, like, at this point beaten all the other AoEs, yeah, I think it's okay to give Artoria a buff. But it is going to be an interesting thing. Yeah, maybe it's going to be Bedivere or something like that. We'll see. I'm not sure who your 3-star is going to be. I think the sheer actual, like, Bedivere is a good pairing if it's Artoria. But the one who needs it the most, nobody can dispute this. Nobody can dispute this. The saber that needs the upgrade the most is Jill de Ray. It's absolutely Jill de Ray. There is nobody that can say that it's not Jill de Ray. So the copium is there that it's gonna be him. But admittedly, we'll just have to see, right? Not happening, I know. The comeback is here, yes. 5-star assassin, this is an interesting one. There are obviously several units that could get it. I'm kind of the opinion it needs to be like Semiramis or Cleo. I think both of the two of them just are really in need of some good love. Neither of them is like the most usable. I think Cleo's still really good in a challenge environment, but Semi is just getting beaten by everybody. Yeah, I could maybe see something like Jack finally getting like an actual fix so that she has a full NP interlude. That would definitely be a thing, and we'll just have to see, right? I could definitely see it being the case. 3-star caster. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I know who I want it to be, but I'm not sure that they'll actually do it. I want it to be Medea. I straight up do at this point. Medea could absolutely use it. The problem is it's probably going to set off a war amongst the 4-star single targets, but Medea absolutely could use some love. We'll see. It may end up being someone like Geronimo. Absolutely, Geronimo needs it. The man, like his performance overall is not bad, but his kit is just atrocious, so they need to start giving him some kind of upgrade. And then let's see. So we got 5-star Rider. Everybody be coping like, oh my god, please let it be a Skandar. Please let it be him that he has like even 10% charge. I hope so in that regard. I think it could also be someone like Katz, someone like Maid Alter. Since Ozzy got his buff, he is really in a much better dominant place. So I think like giving them some actual love would be really good. Especially Katz at this point in time. And then I think there's also the dark horse here, and that's Europa. Europa absolutely could use some love too. She's kind of left behind by the likes of Drake and everything at this point in time. So we'll see. Hopefully it's something like that. 4-star assassin. Listen, chat, there are many people that this could be, but you all know who it is. Yeah, I don't even have to really spell it out for you, okay? You all know who it is because it's always been this. Yeah, I have seen some theories that it's actually going to be Assassin Nito. And I'm down for this. I'm down for this because she is on rate up in the actual servants that they showed there. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so right here. So you guys can see Assassin Nito is actually here. They're not all going to be people on rate up in this banner. They never go that thematically, but yeah, I could see it, and I really do hope it is because Assassin Nito just absolutely does need it. Let's see. So then we also end up having like our foreigners. Foreigner is a weird one, because there's a lot of downward pressure being asserted on them by basically Cuckoo. And Cuckoo at this point, chat, is so dominant in that sphere that she is basically outperforming even a lot of the single targets. So I could see it being a single target. I could see it being an AoE. I'm not really sure on the foreigners. My own personal pick, I would actually like to see it be Yang. Just because I feel like Yang could use some love, but we'll see. We'll see what they actually try to do. Yeah, the Voyager for the third time, yes. Yeah, it could end up being something like that. But the cool part about this is, chat, there's not just one, there are two. So there are literally two different foreigners that are 5-star that are getting a buff here. So I'll be curious to see who actually gets one. It'll definitely be an interesting thing. So maybe it's Yang, maybe it's Koyami, maybe it's someone like Abby. We'll just have to see. Billy for Archer. Yeah, I'm actually not sure. My first reaction to this when I saw this was that Billy just absolutely does not need this. Sorry, not Billy. Your 3-star archers don't need a buff. Like, your 3-star archers are all pretty good. Now, let me state this. Could you buff a 3-star archer? Yes, absolutely. Like, none of them are like destroying the game, and if you buff them, it would be unheard of, right? Like, but I will say that like your 3-star archers, at least like gameplay wise, are all in a fairly good spot. I would have way preferred this to be a 5-star buff, but sure, I guess, right? Like, it is what it is at that point. But yeah, I think your 3 stars, it's kind of anyone's guess at this point because they are like generally okay. So it really just depends on who they want to do. And there may be some synergy and pairing here. So we'll just have to see in that regard. Chat. You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is, chat. You know who it is. I'm not accepting any disagreements here, chat. I'm not accepting any disagreements. You know, and you know what you've done, okay? Okay, do I have to get it out? There you go. She's got the gun, chat. You know who's getting the buff. This is non-negotiable, okay? She is getting the buff. No one else. Yeah, I don't know, right? Like, I definitely want it to be Buntoria. I do think Buntoria could use an NP interlude. And with the new like append, she's actually kind of fucked. I did talk with people about this, but basically Buntoria's append is, Buntoria is she is a 6-turn cooldown. And even with the new append being able to lessen it to like 5 turns, it doesn't make a difference. She still can't take advantage of it because in order for her to pop it, like there's 2 schools of thought. So like, you would have to start her out with her append. You would have to start her out with her 40% charge. She refunds 20% charge each turn. So that's just automatic. There's no scalability to it. So you'd have to use like Koyanskaya right here. And then like, oh, okay, well now if you've managed to do this, you could use another Koyanskaya. If you did have her her fifth append, you could get back to it and use the other 40% here. Well, that seems good, right? Wrong, because then your third supports Oberon and you're still 10% shy. Well, what if you start her out with a 50% C? Okay, let's look at that. So you start her out with a 50% C. You give her append. You give her charge skill. Well, okay, so you've used it, so now it's down to 5 turns. You're using a double Koyanskaya setup. She refunds 20% each time, right? And you manage to actually end up like going like, okay, well, what do I do here? So now you have to use another Koyanskaya skill. The weird part is you know, it went from 6 to 5 the second you press the button. The second you went to turn 2, it went from 5 to 4, and now you use a Koyanskaya skill, so now it's at 2. You need to use another Koyanskaya skill, which means you can't use the charge skill here turn 2, which means that you can only use it here turn 3. Well, that works. That works, right? Yeah, it does. You can absolutely get away with Oberon 70% there, or even a 50% charger. What doesn't work about that? Well, her 40% charge, chat, is the thing that gives her delayed attack up, which means because you couldn't use it in turn 2, you didn't get the benefit for turn 3. The append actually makes no difference for her. She's either still 10% shy, or she basically can't do it and gain effectiveness. It's actually stupid. Like, and I have to say, as much as I like the Koyanskaya system and the ingenuity of the system, so tired of the Artorias getting fucked by it. It really is one of those annoyances in that regard. So I'm hoping that we get an Artoria buff. I'm hoping that we get a Summer Artoria buff. I really do. I think both of them would be good. That being said, if it's John, you're not going to see me get angry about John getting it. She absolutely deserves it. If it's somebody not named John or Ruler Lartoria, I'm going to be really sus of it. So we'll just have to see. Would MP resetting cooldown salvage this? It might. Yeah, so like there's numerous things they could give her. They could give her like overcharge. Well, actually, no, overcharge doesn't work in her case. They could give her like additional charge or something like scaling with her NP on an overcharge. They could give her, again, cooldown reduction. These sorts of things would all help. But yeah, as it stands right now, no, it's like really, really weird in that regard. QSH could use a buff too? No, he couldn't. He's perfectly fine. QSH still be soloing things. Still to this day. The whole reason you haven't seen him, because he's still soloing. He's still in the middle of his like 5,000 turn run. So he's out there somewhere in the distance, still be soloing. Didn't John already get a buff this year? Yeah, and the hilarious part is John could still use 2 more buffs. Like even the next buff, she's still gonna need another one, chat. Scotty buff? It could be, right? Like maybe it's Summer Scotty and they start trying to do stuff with Quick in that regard, but we'll just have to see. Which is interesting because now we know that the Annie unit is not the savior of Quick or anything like that. So yet another year. Let's see what happens with Quick. Your 1-star assassin. Yeah, I agree with Ventos. It's not Phantom. I don't know what they're trying to do here. This is really odd. But so we basically end up in a weird spot where like Phantom is, obviously neglected at this point, but we keep feeding buffs to our 1-stars. I think it's gotta be Corday at this point, but I wouldn't hate it if it's Matahari again. It's just like, yeah, I think out of all of these, Regend is in the like most okay state so far, so I kind of hope it's not Regend, but who knows? Maybe it's Regend for Fate Stay Night. We'll just see. You never know in that sort of regard. All right, again, we have the other foreigner, so we already kind of talked about that. We have a 3-star rider. I think the copium here is obviously Medusa, and that we see her. Who knows, though? There are many units that I think, like, of the 3-star riders, we could see some love, because we got Ushi that obviously really dominates for the single targets. AoEs, there's not really a dominant force in that regard, so we'll just have to see. Maybe they end up giving some love to, yeah, even someone like Columbus, right? But I don't know. That one's another one where it's like it's very difficult for me to predict. 5-star caster. I saw a lot of people memeing that this is Merlin. I don't think it's gonna be Merlin. Merlin's not in a bad spot. He's still perfectly fine. So who knows? Maybe he is on rate up. That is a thing. So we'll just have to see. But Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he is on the rotational rate up. I don't see it being Merlin. In actuality, yeah, it could be another Anastasia buff. It could end up being something to like, oh, really any number of 5 stars with the way Castor Coup has kind of been. So that's just like, I don't think it's crazy to end up giving some love there. You could end up doing another summer unit. You could end up doing something like Castor Umu or something like that. So we'll just have to see. Castor Umu is actually like, she's a year 2 unit that has had no upgrades throughout all of time. So it's a really, really interesting thing. The 4-star caster here. Aha. As we all know who this will be. I love seeing chat basically throw out all their copium guesses. No, I honestly like here's my copium. My copium is that if this truly is a Medea buff, my copium is that this is like Shez or something like that. I don't know though. We'll just have to see. I did see someone in chat say this could be Mew and this could be Ilya. That's certainly possible. I like the thing is I'm not really sure Ilya needs the upgrade at this point in time, but we'll see, right? Like I'm not going to say you couldn't buff Mew. Mew is still like, she's a lot more usable now, but she still is kind of selfish in that regard. So if they wanted to make her more of a pseudo sport, they could kind of branch one of her skills into being actually party wide, but we'll see. Shez is a 5-star. Shez is still pretty good. Shiba, yeah. Wait, did I say Shez? Yeah, I meant Shiba, 100%. But yeah, like, I'm not actually sure. In a lot of these, this one is still really, really odd. It's going to be Caster Wu. No, it's all woo. Tamamo for extra record. Yeah, I mean that could be a thing. I like I'm gonna say is like I think any number of these things could be. The only thing I question is like let's not try to draw too many connections, right? Because every year we always get like hypercopium with our theory that like oh it's a sign they're gonna be doing all of these units, and I'm like like even when I suggested some of the Fate Stay Night units, chat, I don't think they're all gonna be that, right? Like I just assume some of them might, but not all of them. So I think there's obviously like a couple of units in each one of these that you could be like, oh, hey, there's an actual pattern here. But I think it's going to be like under 25% of the units. I don't think it's going to be like the majority of them. I could see them announcing something for Prilia and buffing them both at the same time. Maybe, but honestly, I don't think so at this point. They've already chock full of their announcements. Like we already had Hollow Ataraxia, Fate Stay Night, and extra record on their plate. I feel like doing something for Prilia would be like crazy at this point. Love your stream, thank you, Zuruku. Appreciate it, my man. But yeah, that's my guess on these. Like we'll just have to see whether or not I'm right. Let me go ahead and take a stand, and I'm gonna say this is Shiba. Okay. And we'll hope that, well, I'll hope that I'm right. Everybody else in chat can hope that I'm wrong. But I'll go ahead and say like that is my best guesstimate. For 3-star Archer, God, who do I want to guess? I don't know. Like William Tell and Rice Man have both received upgrades recently, and I mean Robin really hasn't received much in a while, but Robin also doesn't need it. Yeah, I think it might be Kid Gill. We'll see. Like I don't really have a good guess on this one. I'm gonna say Kid Gill, and I'll just stick with that, and we'll see whether or not I'm right. Robin does stupid damage with poison, so yeah. Chubb's gonna throw hands. Listen, I'm not saying it because I want it. I'm saying it because it's the best one that I can think of. Do you think they would upgrade Urael? No. In all honesty, I think like I don't think Urael's in a bad spot, and I think Urael is still at this point in time putting pressure on the 5 stars. Like, buffing Urael and not buffing your 5-star archers would be tantamount to just saying fuck you and your 5-star archers. Like that's, I don't see them necessarily doing that. That would be really, really rough. All right, chat. I think I'm going to end it here for tonight. I know we didn't get to do the rolling, the GSSR. We'll do that tomorrow. I will see you guys for that. And then we'll see whether or not I can fit in the Space Eresh stuff for you guys tomorrow. But let me see who I'll be on. And yes, I'm going to send you guys over to Mr. Fino. He's on tonight doing some stuff. So again, I hope you guys have a good one. Thank you guys for being here as always. If you guys haven't already, get on the Discord. We're always happy to have you. Again, we got a great community on there, and get in the CAD chat section. I'm always happy to hear from you guys. Again, let me know in the CAD chat section what who you guys think the upgrades are going to be, or where you guys think I was wrong on them. So, Fino is done. Fino got off. Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me see who I'll be on then. Let me send you guys over to Fox. Kaito? Wait, is Kaito on? No chance. Kaito's on? He is. I'm sending you guys to Kaito. Okay, chat. If you guys have never met my man Kaito, he's the one who did basically the original mock-up of Aurelia. He's done a lot of art for me. Kaito has just basically gone through 2 years of hell. He has suffered from spinal tuberculosis. The fact that he is streaming is amazing. Go give my man some love. Go give him a follow. Go give him some support if you guys haven't ever. So again, I will see you guys on the other side. I'm going to go talk to Kaito here. I'm super excited. And again, thank you guys for being here, and have a good one, and good luck with your rolls. Wait a minute. Hold on. Where's my... There it is. Good luck with your rolls, chat.